I'll spit in it. Oh, dude.
That's a shit spit.
Oh, dude.
Oh. Oh, you didn't even do the whole bit. And Brendan, because you're our guest, you're gonna have to take a knee. Take the knee for it.
How was it, dude?
How was it?
How was it, man? It's fresh.
I told you you don't like IPAs.
What's his
I
drink?
told you.
I don't like IPAs either. Is that an IPA?
All IPAs. Dude.
You go now.
Are you excited about it all?
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are a podcast that talks about the MMA podcast you should catch, skip, and can't miss each week. That noise you just heard was Chris, my co-host. I am Pulver, by the way, opening up one of our super official sponsors of this week. Why don't we jump right into the Popov Vodka Presents, Doug Stanhope Presents our sponsors.
Our sponsor this weekend is Undbex.
Yeah, we are. This is a Hamburg, Germany card this weekend for the UFC, which should be real interesting. So I did pick up some Undbex, and which is what do you think about it? You said you haven't had Bex in forever, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had like Bex. I always thought it was a non-alcoholic beer. Maybe they do make. I think they do.
They might make a
that's why I think
non-alcoholic
every
version.
time I've seen it, it's just a non-alcoholic. I'm like, oh.
That's funny.
Yeah. It tastes how I'd expect it to.
Yeah.
Skunky. It's drinkable.
Yeah, green bottle German lager.
Yeah.
We like pretty much. I, on the other hand, well, I will be drinking some Beck's later, but I also picked up Bitter Brothers Family Tart White Peach Berliner Weiss, which I've had this actually down at the brewery on Morena. It's fucking fantastic.
Sounds good.
I figured Berliner Weisses are also super appropriate for this week. You want to try that?
Yeah.
It's real
The
good.
other Berliner Weiss that's really good for Sandy good Stones. Ghost Berliner Weiss.
Stone's Berliner Weiss is really good. Also, there's a raspberry
Very,
Berliner.
subtle.
Yeah, there's a raspberry Berliner Weiss from Ballast Point. Nope, not Ballast
Yeah,
Point.
that's good.
Funkworks. Funkworks it has the raspberry one. The blackberry from Ballast Point
Yes.
is another Berliner Weiss. Good German like sour, but they're not normally ultra sour. I recommend it. But we are not a booze show, despite my best efforts. So why don't we get into format? It's been a weird week for podcasts. I feel like since this card is a German card with a lot of dudes, where it's an early fight for them, there's some weird matchups and some dudes making their debut on this card. So I feel like a lot of podcasts took the week off.
Yeah, when I was going through like MMA Podcasts.com, shouts out to those guys.
Yeah, I love that site.
I felt like I was like, shit, I don't have that many to listen to.
Yeah, my list is definitely shorter than normal. There were some really good ones, but you had to dig a little bit more this week. So why don't you start us off with the show you recommend people catch this week?
So I have 2 catches this week. I had one that was almost a can't miss, but it was due to a guest not being able to be interviewed.
I know exactly what show you're talking about,
Yeah,
and
it was
they should really fix their shitty Skype to just add credits.
My first catch is the MMA Hour, or at least part of it, with Luke Thomas.
Yeah, this is a decent one.
I like how he started off with saying with his not co-host, or I guess co-host.
Yeah.
At the
Well,
one analyst.
Danny Segura.
He's like, I didn't know what an Eskimo brother was.
Fucking so many old white dudes working
It's
MMA.
like, dude, you were a Marine, though. I feel like they'd be talking about shit like that in the Marines.
Right? Although, you know what's ironic? What was it? It was the live chat on Wednesday, the MMA Fighting live chat, did talk about how they knew about what Eskimo brothers were. Shouts out to Sean Al-Shadi, who shouted out the league, which is where he learned about it. I feel like a lot of people learned about it.
Yeah, I can't remember the first time I heard about it.
I mean, it's just been a thing forever.
Yeah. I think it looks like it's a millennial thing.
Probably.
Probably right.
Although Danny should have known about it then, and I don't think Danny knew about it.
No, he knew
Did
what it
he?
was. He knew
Okay.
exactly what it was, yeah. Junior Dos Santos wants a trilogy fight after his victory last week. Luke thinks Stipe's chin is fading, so the fight... And he still thinks Stipe would win if they fought again.
Right.
He talked about how Blagoy Ivanov couldn't get anything working despite him having a lot of just grit, and he could take he's got a chin.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get stabbed in the heart, you definitely.
I was going to go with grit. He has a lot of heart, but I was a little too cheeky.
He has a little bit less heart than he used to.
Yeah. They talked about people complaining. I think he got some tweets or some fan mail about people complaining about start times of the cards in countries that aren't theirs. So it's like, you really shouldn't complain, though, because that's like me when I was in Rotterdam saying, oh, fuck you, UFC, for starting your main card at 3 a.m. When I'm here in the Netherlands, when you're in the United States, it's like, it's marketability. You gotta start with your market.
Exactly, which means that if they're not in the U.S., you can't complain about them starting at 10 a.m. or whatever. Like, I think this week they start at 9 or 10 on Sunday. So
that's like saying for some people who want to watch or know the World Cup, you know how it was in Russia, obviously they're going to start Russian start time. It's like, oh no, let's just start at, United States fucking 1 p.m. our time.
Well, that's exactly why there will never be a pay-per-view in Russia.
Yeah.
Because you either make the audience watch it at 4 in the morning, or you make the U.S. fans watch it at 4 in the morning, and either way, you're fucking half of your money. So.
Luke was very impressed by Nico Price's KO. Says he's terribly underrated. The first guest on there was TJ Dillashaw. He asked him first about the training lab. He was saying, are you kind of like the part owner of the training lab? TJ kind of says, pretty much.
Yeah, that's weird.
He teamed up with a lot of strength and conditioning coaches, as well as Mark Munoz.
Yep.
Hence the rain in the training spelling.
Right.
Strength and conditioning is one of their key focuses there at the gym, what a lot of the coaches focus on. Very collaborative environment. Lots of partners are there. Everyone's kind of helping each other. Cub Swanson's a big part of that gym as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because not all those dudes have been like notoriously cut or like.
Juan Archuleta, of course, from Bellator that we've seen, who looked fantastic in his last fight, is there as well.
Yep.
I think big things are coming for that guy in the featherweight division in Bellator. When asked about his upcoming fight next month, or in a couple of weeks, I should say, was it 3 weeks away?
It's August sometime,
about like 3
right?
weeks away. I think August 14th, something like that.
Something like that.
He thinks Cody has no chin and is less fundamentally sound.
No, it's no love. He's got no love.
Oh, yeah, well, that too, right?
Yeah,
can't forget that. It's in his goddamn name. Luke mentioned Cruz was interviewed on the MMA Hour, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago.
Something like that.
He thought Cody Garbrandt was still dealing with a back injury in their first bout. TJ thinks differently and thought he fought a healthy Cody. Obviously. You're going to say that. Oh no, I beat an injured guy.
Well, also, he got dropped in the first round by Cody.
Yeah.
Bad. Like, he almost got finished at the end of the first.
Luke said, if you win on this card, are you the best bantamweight ever, despite not rematching Cruz? He kind of said that. He's like, or do you need to beat Dominic Cruz? He says he doesn't need to fight another fight with Cruz because he doesn't think Cruz is ever going to fight again. He thinks he's too injured all the time and is comfortable with his broadcasting.
I don't think he's at all comfortable with his broadcasting because that dude's always been motivated as shit. But is he injured all the time? Absolutely.
No.
He'll admit to that. Like, it's plus the way shouts out to that motorcycle. Hopefully that's not Dominic Cruz riding it since he should have one arm right now. But he's one of those dudes that a big part of this, why this is taking so long for his recovery, is because I think we talked about it before.
Plantar fasciitis.
No, the arm break. Remember, he broke his arm and then.
I mean, he's been striking. I've seen video and like he's.
Well, no, but the problem is he was supposed to be letting it mend normally without surgery.
Oh, I see.
And then eventually
have a setback?
it never. Yeah, well, yeah. Eventually, it never healed all the way, so he has to get surgery now. Still.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
That's why he's been out for so long and will be out for a bit again.
Because that's the thing. Hypothetically, like if Cruz does come back, obviously he won't get a title shot immediately. I shouldn't say obviously, but likely he wouldn't. He'd probably
it's a big
fight someone like Vince Sensao. Say he wins. Say he does get no title shot, whether against TJ or Cody, whoever the champ is. Say he wins that. Then I think he should retire, because then you've already proven yourself, oh, wait, I can come back from injury a fucking third time.
Yeah. And
then, like, win a belt. You know what I mean, though? That's all hypothetical, obviously. He could do it, based on that he's done it before. He could probably do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see where TJ's coming from.
For sure.
Luke brings up... Oh, and then, of course, he said, after this fight are the implications and chances of fighting DJ still there. Like, of course the desire is still there. He would love that fight. He would love to fight Demetrius Johnson. And he loves that he's fighting on the same card as him because it makes it fun.
And it's a good setup.
And he says he's looking forward to crossing paths with him during fight week.
You know when DJ wins that DJ is going to say something.
You mean, like, do you think DJ will finally be like, hey, who's next kind of thing?
I think he'll
or do you
say...
think, I almost feel like he won't say anything, though. He'll just be like, okay,
I feel like he'll say
best.
something along the lines of, hey... there's a certain bantamweight fighting on this card that keeps talking about coming down to 125. The UFC gets this money right. We will make this shit happen.
Yeah, probably say
where
that.
it's like throwing shade at WME on the low. Because DJ at this point is just criminally shit on by Dana in the UFC. Like, just, it's getting absurd at this point, so.
Yeah, I agree. They discussed union possibilities. TJ apparently has not heard of Project Spearhead.
Well, TJ also was for the
Yes, I know. The MMA.
Yeah, with fucking Bjorn.
He says, I've been out of the loop and focused on my son and training. Quick picks with Danny Segura. They both picked TJ because they think he has more tools than Cody. However, they wouldn't be surprised if Cody can get a flash KO just based on his insane power. Listener calls. Someone asked, how beneficial are eye pokes to fights? Especially from the 226, Costa versus Hall and Stipe versus DC. Should referees be more or less hesitant to start deducting points?
And of course, Luke said yes, like I've been saying for 3 years.
Yeah. He just said refs need to be more organized in how they approach taking points. Talked about Chad Mendez, his impressive victory. He hasn't lost a step and looked fantastic.
Yeah,
hesitant,
he looked like a
of
beast.
course, but that's realistic based on you have fought 2 years.
And even then, not that. He still let that counter
He was
fucking
leading with those
hooks
feints
rip.
too, yeah. And he telegraphed it well.
Yeah.
He was able to, they talk about Sage Northcutt. They said he has a ton of potential because he's still very young, but don't expect him to be John Jones. I don't think anyone's gonna be John Jones.
Shit.
Yeah, no one's gonna be John Jones.
Except
say no one.
the one way you should expect him to be John Jones is his dad is a former coke dealer. So, and steroid dealer, evidently.
Just,
so,
I can almost see Sage Northcutt being from the nice, quiet guy to, like, all of a sudden just doing some lines of coke, getting tatted up. Like, yeah, motherfucker! Just going, like, full heel.
No, I think Sage's dad is the one dealing coke to John Jones.
Yeah. Like, it's a possibility. Talking about Brock Lesnar.
Texas and New Mexico aren't that far apart.
Yeah. Talking about Brock Lesnar still being a draw, and the fact that he's only 41, and they say he's only 41 because they thought he was older than that. I had no idea how old Brock Lesnar was. If you would have asked me, I would have guessed like 38, 39, but I have no idea.
I would have guessed 60 or 22. I have no idea how old that guy is. Like he's infinite and also has been around for like almost no time.
I just always remember the first time
he did beat a dead dude once, so.
I just always remember the first time I saw him was on WWE SmackDown in like 2003, and he had the most massive baby eaters I've ever seen.
Oh, there's someone on this car, by the way, that has some big old baby eaters in his picture. So.
And then the reason why this is a catch is because of his interview with Nick Newell.
Yeah, who's great.
Who is getting his very fantastic. Who's getting his well-deserved and kind of long-awaited opportunity.
Yeah.
Next week on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. He talked about he's expecting his first child with his wife, which is great. He's putting most of his focus that he's ever had on this one fight. Feels the best he's ever felt physically and mentally. He responds to the criticism. Luke says Dana has said he'll look like a genius if Newell wins, and it'll be bad press if he loses because people will say, "Oh, how can you like a guy with one arm with a disability, fight and lose?" And Luke doesn't like that argument because Nick fought Gaethje and did pretty well, all things considered, against him.
Yeah.
I agree. How come no one has ever missed weight for the Contender Series? Which is a good question. Nick thinks it's because everyone's hungry and ready. They really want that contract.
Well, and a lot of them are fighting up weight class.
Nick Newell is a very big video gamer. However, he has an impressive collection of N64 and a bunch of N64 games.
Yeah.
Apparently, he never got past the PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 because he said, I'm just too much of a sucker for old school games.
Yeah.
He said, however, he admitted, it's not a big deal. He said, yeah, I have a modded 360 with over like 200 Super Nintendo games.
Right.
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
It's hilarious. Well, Luke was trying to push the fucking NES Classic like he's a goddamn 12-year-old girl. That motherfucker needs to look up
Don't they
how
have the
Raspberry
Super Nintendo one too?
Yeah, but like,
Raspberry
look
Pi's
up a
legit.
Raspberry Pi. It's like 70 or like $60, and you have everything.
And then lastly, Luke said, "Hey, what's the deal with you having cats and not dogs? Don't you like dogs?"
Oh yeah, he
And
pulls
he's
his
like,
cat
"I
out.
just like cats more." And his cat's like the most chill as fuck.
It looks super high.
Yeah.
All the best cats seem like they're high as fuck.
Yeah.
Like my brother used to have a cat that would just follow you around and try and talk to you the whole time. Like, meow, meow.
Wait, was that the cat?
Oh yeah, you met that cat at my old
it's
place.
like fucking Eric Cartman's cat. The great cat's like,
It would just follow you around and try to talk to you, and then if you talk to it, it would just talk back.
That cat was
crazy.
hilarious. Yeah.
For real, but yeah, I saw someone bring up, and zero disrespect, not trying to throw shade or anything. I saw someone bring up they posted a picture on Twitter of an N64 controller, and they just had the question, not trying to be a dick, but how the fuck does Nick Newell hold this thing?
Wow.
Which is a great question.
Oh, as far as the controller?
It's already a fucked up controller. There's 3 places to hold it. How does Nick Newell... And there's triggers and everything.
The only thing I can imagine is, and this is what I would do, like if I were to just play.
You set it down on something?
No. Like if it was an N64 controller, I would just use my left like arm or just wrist to kind of do the joystick.
Oh, do the stick.
Yeah, and just set it like that. So I mean, because you would just have to be coordinated, or you could put something on your wrist.
No, I think
right to like grip it. You know what I mean, like a pad.
Is it his left arm?
Isn't it his left arm that's gone?
I think you're right.
Yes. No, see what I mean?
Okay.
So you could still do it.
Okay.
You would just be like this. See what I mean?
It's
and,
only
like,
because it's his left arm that he's able to play with an N60, unless he did it upside down.
That would seem fucking impossible.
Yeah,
no, but
right?
yeah, but you're right. If it was his right hand that was gone, then yeah, you can't do it.
I feel like a dick for bringing this up, but it was a legit question.
Speaking of that, if he did have an Xbox One, apparently Microsoft made a fantastic ADA accessible controller that works very well.
There's starting to be a bunch of them.
Because I remember there's these twins. They played. I can't remember. They're NFL players now. They're both in the Seattle Seahawks. The Griffin twins.
Mm-hmm.
The other brothers.
Forrest Griffin has some brothers.
Yeah, one of the brothers, his left hand. I think it's his left hand or right hand is gone. And he tried out the new Xbox controller. Like, he was in tears. He's like, dude, like, you know, I love Xbox. And he's like, now I can kind of finally actually, like, play fucking Halo and shit like that, like, with this controller.
Yeah, there's a bunch of companies doing research and stuff into that. And it's supposed to be actually really, really good, so that's pretty cool. But, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I like the interview a lot. And
Nick Newell's is such a likable
That was
dude.
the first time I kind of fully listened to at least about half of the new MMA Hour. And I like the pacing, yeah.
I definitely have been
I like how
it.
Luke is straight to the point with the questions, doesn't instigate,
oh my God,
doesn't kind of sit like this and just kind of like...
You mean the end of the TJ interview didn't end with, oh, also TJ, we've got Don Cruz and Cody Garbrandt on the line.
Oh, and Mighty Mouse. That's the way it called. Well, how about that?
We've got a party line with everyone and your ex-girlfriends. Why don't you guys all just have a talk?
Oh, and your infant son on the other line, too.
Oh, and also I heard you called them all gay. Now, go ahead.
Oh, and guess who else is here? Uriah Faber.
Right. Fucking that dude.
And
I haven't listened to that dude's show since the first one he did. Because I can't be bothered with the fucking 5-hour show of just drama. Everyone posts the fucking headlines from it anyway. What's the point? And the fucking Ariel and Chael show, aka the most casual.
The irony of it
bullshit.
is, I like that Ariel gets scoops. I like.
He's a great journalist.
Yeah, he's
when
good.
he
That's
just
what I do.
is a
He's
journalist.
a fantastic journalist. It's just his show is a little off-putting to me.
Well, he just loves the drama. Is the part that gets real annoying. Like, I wish Ariel just posted to Twitter and did the weigh-in videos. That's all I want him to do.
Yeah.
Everything else I could really do
I
without.
love the golf announcer stuff.
I love that shit. It's good.
Yeah.
Although I do like John Morgan's version better.
But anyways, I went a little long on that. I thought that was a solid episode this week.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid one.
How about you? Do you have multiple catches or a catch?
I've just got one catch this week, although half of my skip could also be a catch or a can't miss. We'll get to that.
Okay.
But my catch for this week is The Writer and the Fighter, episode 10. This is, of course, the show with Jake Smith and David Golden. Jake is a Bellator fighter, 170-pounder. or maybe 155er, depending on what day you ask him. And it's just a good show. They talk about Jake's friend Ryan's fight in Bellator, when Ryan ended up losing, which they had an interesting and super honest discussion about what went wrong and some bad habits that Ryan has. And I guess Ryan's been actually training out of Extreme Couture as of late. And then Jake straight up shits on Iridium Sports Management super bad because evidently Ryan had 0 sponsors for his fight.
Huh.
Like, how the fuck, when you're a Bellator fighter, how the fuck does your management get you 0 sponsors? Like, you can't even get a Condom Depot or like a fucking Mike's Tire Barn or whatever. That's upsetting. Although I don't think Condom Depot sponsors MMA anymore. But anyway, they joke about how someone on Twitter called him Shitty the Kid. For a joke, he was calling himself Smitty the Kid. Someone called him Shitty the Kid.
Of course.
Yep. They talk about the rumor that Michael McDonald is a sex addict, and that's why he's all Jesus-y.
So wait, where is he fighting? I haven't seen that guy in a
Michael McDonald? He just fought in Bellator. Remember we watched him ice, God, who was it? Dudu Dantas. We watched him ice Eduardo Dantas last time we recorded.
Yeah. But wait,
he fucking smashed him in like a minute.
He's a Jesus freak now?
Yeah, so he's all Jesus-y, and there's a rumor...
Like born again something?
Yeah, they said there's a rumor that's because he was a sex addict formerly.
Oh.
Which I was like... They throw shade. Like, those motherfuckers don't hold back.
Maybe that's why John Jones is always saying, fucking, I'm blessed and Jesus.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, everyone does it.
Yeah, you know what I'm getting at.
Shouts out to
that episode of South Park where they was sex addicts and they had all the cameos from like Tiger Woods and.
Yeah, shouts out to every NFL player.
Yeah.
Let's
parties,
see.
bro.
Yeah, exactly. They talk a lot about Bellator 202 and 203 and how that went down. David does bring up that Brazilian fighters cry a lot more than other fighters. Like, I believe he described the season of Tough Brazil as a bunch of dudes just crying and kissing each other. Which is, like, not wrong, but it's fucked up. They also discuss how heavyweight is super weak, and Travis Brown being a bad fighter and a bad person. And then, at one point, David asked Jake whether or not he'd ever be interested in, like, coaching or anything like that, or doing tape study for guys and, like, doing, like, analysis on opponents. And Jake said, like, yeah, I don't know if I would be into coaching because I don't have patience for people who aren't good, but I maybe do tape study. Then he throws out the line, who knows, maybe I'll be the next Greg Jackson, but not a pussy. Again, dude's hilarious.
As long as you're not Lloyd Irvin.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you'd be an okay
Jesus. But everybody go follow Uber Smitty on Twitter, and I would recommend checking out The Writer and the Fighter. Also, their name of their show is The Writer and the Fighter, because Jake Smith is not at all a Brendan Schaub fan, and he hates Fighter and the Kid. So he's like, I want to do it like as a pun on that, but also I don't want to have the fighter at the end of it. I'm not going to do The Fighter and the Writer. So, I don't know. It's fun. And that dude's super fucking nice on Twitter. He's a great guy. And not afraid to throw shade. And him and Ricky Simon, or Simone, I can never figure that out.
I think it's Simone.
They always say Simon, I think, though.
Then I'm confused.
Anyway, Ricky. Him and Ricky always talk shit back and forth on Twitter all the time. It is pretty goddamn funny. So, I recommend checking that out. And you said you had another catch this week, right?
Yeah, my other catch, which would have been my can't miss, was Believe You Me.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you guessed right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it would have been my catch this, but they couldn't get
Skype. But fucking Luis J. Gomez is too cheap to buy Skype credits. That's what
was that really?
Well, international calls cost Skype credits because he's calling from an actual fucking landline.
I mean, I don't know how much it is per minute.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You're running a fucking studio and you have a goddamn network who owns a studio.
Just put it on the business card.
And you did a goddamn festival last weekend where you made some good money. So, for sure, just lose to Ryan O'Neal and then buy some Skype credits.
So they start off by talking about Lewis's girlfriend and Israel Adesanya liking each other's photos on
Which is
social media.
hilarious. By the way, if you guys don't know Kim Congdon, Lewis's girlfriend, she originally, I know her from being on early episodes of Kill Tony, the open mic show. She was like one of the first regulars on that show, her and Sarah Mostajabi, like way back in the very early episodes. I actually saw Kim Congdon do her first road set at the La Jolla Comedy Store.
Oh, sick.
And I got a picture with her
I
afterwards.
recognize that name too. I think I'd recognize.
I think it's on my Instagram actually. A
Okay.
picture of me and her from like forever ago. But she's fucking hilarious and would totally talk shit to Lewis exactly this way.
They then talk about news about Colby Covington potentially being stripped of his Promise Belt, the interim title, aka the #1 contender belt.
AKA not so much of a promise.
Yeah, right. Colby's apparently injured.
Confirmed injured. John Morgan this week said that he has spoken to Colby's team and he is dealing with an injury and won't be able to fight in September.
Okay, so the thing is, realistically, don't we still want him to fight Tyrone? That's a fight I want to see.
Not if it's Kamaru over fucking Colby.
I mean, sure.
I'd rather see Kamaru.
Yeah,
It's a more fun fight.
I get it, but I would love to see Tyrone
everyone
destroy Colby.
I don't want the fucking racial bullshit.
And
that
to be fair,
is gonna
Colby
happen
beat
right
the
now.
#1 contender in RDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying if you want to just kind of go by the who's who thing. But anyways,
Yeah, I guess you can't really give Usman
the thing
a
that
fight
the
off
thing
of
that
that.
pissed me off, and that actually kind of made me kind of upset, was the whole thing like Darren Till. Like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's a joke.
That's a joke. That's a complete utter fucking joke.
Well, it's because they're trying to sell Darren Till super bad.
I know.
But you can't.
Hey, let's go ahead and get this guy who, first of all, almost died making 170 last time. He's missed weight. Half of his fights to last 2 out of 4. Yeah, no.
Yep.
Please
That's
don't.
the thing is you can't give someone a title shot
No.
off a missed weight.
And guess what, guys? You know what that fight would look like? Woodley versus Wonderboy all over again.
I mean, maybe, but yeah, probably.
No, it would be a bullshit fight. It'd probably be entertaining.
I think Darren Till has too much ego to do that.
And
I think
he's a lot bigger than Wonderboy too.
Well, that's the thing, and I think he thinks if like the only way for him to beat Tyron is to take it to Tyron, but I also think that's what gets him knocked the fuck out or out wrestled.
I think he'll get wrestle fucked.
I think he'll get wrestle fucked, and people forget Tyron hits hard as fuck from top. So.
Yeah. So there's that, which pissed me off. Lewis says, "Hey, how about you, Mike? You were injured against George St. Pierre, and you avoided fighting Whitaker, kind of." But he said, "Oh, that's not true, because we were supposed to coach against each other on The Ultimate Fighter."
It's just Lewis pushing buttons.
I
like he
know.
likes
I think
to
it's
do.
yeah. They discussed interim belt bullshit and shenanigans, and it being meaningless, which you already knew. Besides you being the #1 contender,
Even
essentially.
more meaningless now, though.
Yeah. It's basically the WWE. Not as bad. Bisping recalls his experience in New Jersey back, was it UFC 78 or 88? Who the fuck was he fighting?
78. I forget.
Anyways,
Where's TJ DeSantis when you need him?
Yeah, Lewis talked about how ghetto Jersey can be sometimes, and he said he was walking around in Newark at 2 a.m. Bisping was, and he says he thought some dudes thought about jumping him. And he says, Bisping's like, and Lewis is like, "Oh, is it because you had a shaved head back then? You looked like you wanted to hunt black people?" It's like, Jesus. And then Bisping's, "Oh yeah, I did have a shaved head. That wasn't a good look." He said, "Or it wouldn't be a good look now."
Yeah, well, Bisping also said that he saw a fucking billboard that says "Stop killing people."
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
And then also that led to shaved heads, led to white supremacy, which led to which is by the way a hoax and created by a 4chan troll.
Yeah.
The OK sign to some idiots who bought it means white power.
Yeah.
And did you see the obsession Joe Rogan had on Instagram?
It's
It was
really
pretty
good.
great.
I almost...
And that picture of Joe just like...
There's a bunch of them. There's of Cosby doing it. I found pictures of Oprah and Michael Jackson doing it that I was going to send. It's pretty...
There's fucking
pretty
Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop going like that too.
Dude,
Anything.
Just Google search OK sign. There's like 1 billion people have done that over the years. Especially back in like the 70s.
Yeah. They talk about the time when a certain fighter flew out to Shanghai last minute to fight Gastelum and how brave that fighter was. Bisping
And how that fighter donated all the money he won to charity because he's so brave.
They said Bisping discusses finding. I can't find Israel Adesanya's contact number, and Harrington, the intern, is getting roasted on both of them. But then Harrington goes, "Hey Lewis, you can always get Kim to hit him up."
Yeah,
which is pretty great.
So fucking dude, Lewis was so taken aback. He was like, "Oh goddamn it, that was."
He was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!"
Yeah. Well, because it was so well timed that Lewis was just like shut down.
So yeah, I like that one a lot. But if they would have had Israel, I'm sure it would have been a great interview.
And also, you're taking a call from a guy who doesn't live in America. Probably remember, he doesn't live in America. The fuck?
I mean,
that's the fuck. Just zero production behind the scenes. But Lewis is too busy trying to get his girlfriend to stop commenting about how she wants Israel and Lewis to just take their tops off and fight.
How about you? Did you have? I can't remember. I can't miss, which is another catch.
No, I have a skip and I have a can't miss.
We got to go skip. Yeah, that's right. I do. It's not really a fair skip. It's just kind of like a half skip. Considering they don't really talk MMA except for like the first 10 minutes. It was Phonebooth Fighting.
Oh, I need to catch back.
I hadn't listened to this in a long time. What's his coach? Richard Hunter, right? Is that his name?
Yep, Richard Hunter and Frank Mir.
They talk about how they're both still at Syndicate MMA in Vegas. They briefly discussed the Bellator results from last week in the state of women's featherweight in all of MMA. They said it's pretty sad that Cyborg's calling out Cindy Dandwa.
Well, yeah. But also, because she's ducking the real GOAT, Reina. King Reina versus Cyborg for the fucking coolest ever belt.
They said what they thought was kind of interesting. They said, if you noticed at the UFC Boise event last week, fans weren't booing when they were displeased. They were stomping their feet. And now I need to go back and watch that, because how the fuck do you notice that?
Richard was probably on site.
Okay, well, besides, I thought that like on TV you could like.
It's probably Richard was there, so he heard it. That is some like Midwest weird shit.
Frank was talking about heavyweights hit hard until they're 70. He's like, I really do think this. He's like, because I had batting practice with Jose Canseco, by the way, the steroid king of baseball, and the one who introduced Mark McGwire, and a bunch of other players to steroids. Thank you, because it made baseball entertaining in the 80s and 90s. Anyways, he said, I was at batting cages. Jose is 54 years old, and his bat swing is so fucking insanely fast, you hear a fucking through the air. Holy shit.
Yeah, that checks out.
Richard was talking about him interviewing Billy Bob Thornton and Billy Bob Thornton's band that he got together with. That kind of, there was like the whole rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I like Billy Bob Thornton. I loved him in Fargo, and he seems like a chill guy. I don't fucking know. I don't have too many reserved judgments.
Seems like a weirdo, though.
A little bit, yeah.
Anytime you're having Angelina Jolie wearing your blood around her, I feel like there's some weird shit going on.
So like, come on, babe, it's gonna be cheeky and fun.
I don't think he's saying the word cheeky.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. It's gonna be neat.
Jesus.
Hey, they're from Hollywood.
I got it.
Yeah, it checks out. The one thing that did interest me is they talk about Mike Judge has a new animated series, which I did hear about a year ago, called Tales from the Tour Bus.
I haven't heard about that.
It's about just legendary country stars such as, and I don't know because I don't listen to country.
Mike Judge had the weirdest taste.
Yeah, what were the names? George Jones, Johnny Paycheck, and Waylon Jennings.
Okay.
Basically, each there was a story of it was George Jones. He was such an alcoholic and such a party guy that his wife, they'd owned multiple cars, threw all of his keys into the bushes. So he drove his John Deere tractor 5 miles on the highway to the nearest liquor store and got a DUI. Because of course, a fucking tractor, and already drunk. Mike Judge led to talk about the movie Idiocracy, great fucking movie, and then Dumb Parents. And then for the next, this was before the Billy Bob Thornton interview. They talk about for about 20 minutes about parenting and foster kids and homosexual parenting the advantages. So I mean, I was like, I would listen to this if I wasn't listening to MMA stuff. It's kind of interesting.
I guess.
But
like, also, I don't really feel like I don't want to hear Richard Hunter and Frank Mir's hot takes on gay parents.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And I remember Frank, which I thought was kind of funny, is he said when he raised his first kid,
he was gay.
Yes, that's the hot take. No, he said he'd be playing Elder Scrolls Morrowind while holding his kid in his arm.
I respect
that.
that.
That was kind of neat. I was like, oh, I don't know how you're doing this. Maybe like this.
That kid's gonna have a weird thing for lizard ladies, but that's okay.
And
cat ladies. Yeah. So his kid's a furry. Is what you're breaking the news.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my skip because I thought they were gonna talk more about like some. It was just too brief on the fight recap.
Yeah, that's totally fair. My skip for this week, I wonder if this is actually going to be the intro for our show this week. Yeah, fuck it. This will be the intro for our show as well. My skip is Below the Belt 88 with Tai Tuivasa and Tyson Pedro. Mostly because Brendan...
Wait, was he in studio with Brandon?
Yeah, they were both in studio with Brandon. And that part is totally good.
Okay.
But the first hour...
Wait, is there still the weird cinematography, like it's an intern fucking doing as many camera angles as he can for his college class?
No, it's not too bad. No, then that's the show. I'm talking the podcast.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
also called
yeah.
Below the Belt, which you can only tell the difference because of the number at the end of it. But essentially, Brandon.
Brandon.
Sticking with that. He addresses the controversy with Dana, and it just devolves into Brandon keeps saying Dana is shitting on fighters, keeps calling him a bully, and then Brandon just keeps saying, I don't need anything from you, you're a dick, but you know what, I don't have any negativity or hate towards it, Dana, I don't even care, I barely have time to deal with any of this. And it's just, he repeats that same thing over and over while also calling Dana a dick over and over. So you're like, what the fuck? Like, a much better version of it is if you listen to Fighter and the Kid, Brian actually drags him out, like, drags some actual talk out of him. But I think Joe had a talking with Brendan and being like, dude, I get it, but also you need to act like the better dude in this situation now that you've said some fucked up shit. So it was awful. He just keeps preaching for like 45 minutes about being nice and not being a hater, and like and then says shit like that he thinks DFC would do better without Dana at the helm. Like these are like back-to-back sentences. So it's just
it sounds upsetting.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. It's just Brendan being like, you know what, I don't even have time for this. There's no point in being negative. Like, everyone should just be positive and focus on themselves, because only depressed people who are insecure would say shit like that.
What did he really say?
Oh,
did he like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He keeps calling Dana insecure while also saying that you should not be a hater.
Yeah, dude, because Dana really cares about you think, Brandon.
Well, he also thinks Dana listens to the show, is what it sounded like, which is even funnier.
I actually highly doubt
that.
that.
He definitely has people that listen to the show and report back. But he doesn't listen at all.
He doesn't listen. No.
And then Brendan also says, here's something great. He says he's never had someone who is confident and successful send him hate on Instagram or Twitter. Which half of the people on Twitter I know who are successful are shitting on Brendan, including dudes like Jack Slack. Confident and successful are like two things I would probably describe as that.
I almost expected at this point Elon Musk to like
start shitting on Brendan
because of his comments on that guy who saved the Thai kids.
He's so fucking. Brendan's rough, man. Yeah, it's upsetting, but I should say, also, he keeps saying that Stylebender misunderstood him. He's like, Stylebender thought I was talking about Gokhan Saki. Which, evidently Brendan doesn't know that Stylebender has listened to the Joe Rogan podcasts for like 5 years. Also listens to Fighter and the Kid. Like, he knows, and Stylebender, before this episode came out, had posted follow-ups on his Instagram talking about Brendan's been ducking me and like shitting on me for a while on Joe's shows. So It's ridiculous. He just talks. And I do the same thing. So, but maybe have some self-awareness every once in a while. It was just frustrating. The whole thing was fucking frustrating. They do talk about how Malky's on Twitter as well, yelling at DC.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking dude. You know what? This will be maybe this will be our break, because for our intro, I think we're gonna do the clip of Tyson Pedro and Tai Tuivasa taking shoeies with Brendan, which is great. But here's a quote for you.
Just his brain didn't use like a brand new Nike.
Oh yeah, brand new shoe of his, yeah, and an IPA. Because he's just the biggest fucking hipster. Because why would you do that with an IPA? But anyway. So here's a direct quote for you, and I swear this is word for word. There's ISIS members who get waterboarded that don't get water poisoning. Talking about Max Holloway. He's like, there's ISIS members that get waterboarded that don't get water poisoning. It's like, yo, motherfucker, you know waterboarding doesn't mean that you're drinking a lot of water, right? You actually inhale zero water while waterboarding.
Drowning.
Yeah, just the dumbest shit.
Like, hey, Brandon, have you ever been in the shower and you look straight up at the shower head and let it go in your nose? That's basically waterboarding when you feel like you can't breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
But you for sure don't absorb so much water that you would get water poisoning. Just that. It's a lot of that kind of shit. Also, he says he's recently started trying to make a catchphrase, I think. Because to Chen, every time they do the listener questions segment, he says, "What else you got?" after every single question. But he does that on Fighter and the Kid also. So now I'm hearing him say, "What else you got?" Or, "Hey Chen, what else you got?" Fucking 35 times a show.
I'll say this. I think in total, as far as Fighter and the Kid, maybe listen to 5 episodes, and this is way before
It's great when they're both making fun of each other for loving dick.
Nowadays, I just can't come to even just one attempt to listen to anything Brandon.
I mean, he just says crazy shit.
It's just too, like I said, hashtag too edgy for me. You know?
Well, he also used the phrase, "It's a cursing and a bless" this week.
It's a cursing and a... Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't correct it either. Just let it go. Where you're like, dude, come on. You have to listen to your own...
no unturned stone.
Yeah. Honestly, that dude would...
It's a catch-23. From...
Oh my god. Catch 11, more like. Because that dude can't count up to 23. Anyway, so that part all sucked. However, Tai Tuivasa and Tyson Pedro came on, talked about why they started their podcast, MMA in Australia. They talked about Ty's love of musicals, because Ty fucking loves musicals.
So you probably loved Hamilton?
I don't know if they talked about Hamilton.
Or Broadway musicals?
The movie musicals, fucking...
Oh,
whatever that Ewan McGregor musical was, or maybe it wasn't him. Hugh Jackman.
You probably saw Mamma Mia, probably the Broadway, not the shitty movie.
No, he loves the shitty...
Les Miserables. Les Miserables. Les Mis. Yeah,
I don't think
Hugh Jackman one with Anne Hathaway that won a bunch of Oscars.
I don't think it was
For
Les
Shakespeare in
Mis,
Love, he probably loves that.
No, he likes way cheesier, closer to Moulin Rouge type musicals.
Oh, he probably loved the movie Rent.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, he talked about just loving weird shitty musicals. Talk about the history of the shoey, and then it goes off the rails where Ty starts talking about the shoey's the tame version. The real, it gets real crazy when we're doing assies or bubbles. What's an assie? He's when you pour beer down your back and your mate drinks it off your ass crack. No, real shit that they do.
I know, I don't doubt that.
Also, the bubbler, where you piss straight up and drink it. Or
that just sounds more impressive.
Or grab... Exactly. He's you would definitely buy a beer for a guy if you saw him pissing in his own mouth. Well, I mean... Yeah, maybe.
It's might as well just call it challenge pissing.
Right.
If you could piss 10 feet up and not get wet, you win a new beer.
Right.
Or you win a drink.
Or his friends taking bites out of the fucking things they put in urinals, the cakes they put in urinals.
Wait, what was that? Wait, there was a cartoon fuck. Oh, it was Cat Dog.
Oh.
Or Dog has a fucking urinal cake in his mouth.
I
he's
forgot
like,
that.
it's a good jawbreaker or some stupid shit.
Yeah, it was a lot of those crazy
God
stories
damn
of
it.
like getting fucked up in Australia.
Which, by the way, I don't think those urinal cakes exist anymore because it's like all
probably not.
No, I haven't. They don't. It's like self-fucking flushing event.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it.
Although I haven't been to Qualcomm lately,
Yeah.
so who knows? If you go to
I'll
Qualcomm,
just
there's
say
probably
this.
still
I've
urinal
been
cakes.
to
'Cause I know
areas-
there's troughs still.
In Germany, I've been to a trough, and it's as awkward as you think it is.
Yep. I remember being a kid and having to take a piss at Qualcomm where you're just like dick level and you're just like, oh
I
god!
remember from, I don't know if you've seen the show that Bill Burr did, F is for Family.
Yeah, that's a
There's
great one.
There's a scene
Yep.
from that where his son is like, ah!
That's exactly what it's like. It's horrible. And then other than that, they talk about their traditional tattoos that they have because they both have that like traditional.
Like that waist. Is that like a Maori or Samoan thing, right?
Yes.
I think they're
it's
Samoan. I think they're Samoan.
Maybe.
Because Whitaker's Maori.
You
Yes.
might be right.
Yeah, Whitaker's the one who's Maori. I think they're both Samoan.
That probably is correct.
Yeah.
I always assume I'm going to say the wrong one, so I just never commit. And then they break down the Hamburg card, and he.
I thought you were about to say Hamburglar.
No. But yeah, they break down the Hamburg card. It's just a great episode at the end, but you can't listen to the part with Brendan where he says nothing, but also talks shit for like 45 minutes. Just frustrating.
All with his legs crossed or with his hands like this.
Oh my god.
Like Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
What else you got? It's fucking terrible. So yeah, I mean it was skippable, but I would check out the tie-in Tyson Park because they're hilarious like always. And also Brendan's much funnier when he's talking to fighters, like and just hanging out bullshitting than he is like when he's on his own trying to get preachy. Like that dude needs to be kept in check for him to be at all entertaining. Like he's great when someone else is like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" But Chen's never gonna do that. All right, so why don't you? Do you have a can't miss this week?
I do not. It would have been the Believe You Me if they had Israel.
I hear you.
I have a couple of podcasts I listen to that I can mention later if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a sec. I just want to run through my can't miss here briefly. It is Slip and Dip, episode 60,
nice.
with Mark De La Rosa and Ant Walker. Mark De La Rosa, of course, husband of Montana De La Rosa, who just recently won on Contender Series, and Ant Walker, or Anthony Walker, former, well, I guess still current Sherdog employee, former producer on a bunch of the Sherdog Radio Network stuff, like Jordan Breen Show and Beatdown and whatever else stuff he would sit in on. But I like Ant a lot. Actually, I was DMing him recently, talking to him about maybe trying to do an Invicta breakdown eventually, since that dude knows a ton about Invicta, and he's really knowledgeable and a funny dude. But Mark De La Rosa calls in early. This show's of course hosted by Kendrick and Matt. We're both cool dudes. I believe they're in Texas, or at least I know Kendrick is. And I'm a big fan of both of them. Mark calls in, Mark De La Rosa. His audio is fucking horrible though. Like he's clearly, I think he's at a bowling alley or something.
You can hear the pins.
You could hear like 800 people yelling and stuff in the background. It was really rough. But he talks about getting the win on Contender Series, and him and Montana both like now fighting for the UFC. He actually mentioned they'd fought on a card before, which has got to be crazy. Considering how much she was crying for his Contender Series fight.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty interesting, but yeah, the audio is real rough. And then Ant Walker calls in, and this is the whole reason it's a can't miss for me, is Ant Walker is hilarious, and these dudes are also super funny, so it just becomes a crazy conversation about them talking shit about the UFC. A lot of, like, they open talking about possible changes over the next year. Everything from the fucking lawsuits to the Leslie Smith thing to interim titles, just like how much it's already changed in the last 6 months, or especially since WME has taken over, or Endeavor has taken over. And Ant doesn't hold back at all because he like barely gets credentialed to shit anyway, and he's not like that much of a journalist. He's just like a dude who writes op-ed pieces mostly. So yeah, they talk a lot about whether or not, like, the old sport versus entertainment discussion about the UFC.
Yeah.
Because Ant back in the day had talks with Jeff Sherwood on Sherdog Radio about whether it's sport versus entertainment. And he would always say it's sport, which I agree with, but it's starting to not be. Because if the NBA just wanted to make, or if the MLB just wanted to make the Yankees versus whatever popular team that year every time, because it sold more.
It would just be rivalry Yankees-Red Sox.
Right.
They are literally the two best teams in baseball right
and
now.
because it would sell more. So they would just do that every time, and that's what the UFC is becoming. It's no longer merit-based almost at all. Every once in a while it will be, but it's like they pick and choose that shit. And it's just interesting to hear them discuss that, and Ant kind of turning the corner on that discussion. They also talk about how big of a joke the rankings are, which also was talked about on MMA Fighting's live chat this week. It's just an interesting note. Mark Ramundi and Sean Al-Shadi talked about the crazy conflict of interest it was for journalists to do the rankings.
Yeah. Especially,
they all basically bailed right after the UFC took Nate Diaz off the rankings, because the UFC can essentially just choose, say a dude is no
Nate
longer...
or Nick?
Nate, after the Conor thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
A couple months after Conor, they just took him off the rankings, so he was no longer... couldn't even vote for him to be in the rankings. That's kind of the UFC, power the UFC has over that. They can just elect to not... Or what's his face? Yair Rodriguez. They just say he's no longer... we didn't re-sign him for right now, so he can't be on the rankings. And then they can't even choose for him to be on it. So it's pretty conflicting, and kind of a clear indication of why a lot of journalists dropped off that completely. But it's just an interesting discussion. They talk about everything. Why the Boise card was ordered the way it was, which was complete fucking chaos. I believe Ant Walker said, "Oh yeah, I always think when I think of Idaho, I think of a Brazilian fighting a dude from Belgium," or not Belgium. I almost said Belarus. Wherever the fuck Blagoy Ivanov is from. Bulgaria, thank you. I knew it had bull in the name.
Bulgaria.
But just a funny discussion, and they also they talked the GOAT discussion, Lesnar versus DC, Nico Price getting the finish, which was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, it's just a fun discussion that dudes talking very honestly. They talked a lot about being some of the few black journalists in MMA, because there aren't a ton of them. So
that's a good point.
And said oh yeah, I saw you, we're the only two brothers at this place. I gotta exchange business cards with this dude, because who the fuck else? So, and I believe what's his face.
Wait, Slip and Dip was with Kendrick and the other guy, right?
Yeah, Kendrick and Matt.
It is Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kendrick is always whenever.
Oh yeah, because I listened to him last week. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Kendrick is super funny. He talks about how he's I know Kobe because I cover
Well, see,
we talk
when you I don't give a fuck about the NBA. But
yeah.
When he's talking NBA.
He covers NBA and NFL for a living. That's where he actually makes money.
Yeah.
So evidently they were all hanging out in the press room for the whatever Kobe's energy drink thing is.
Body Armor.
Body Armor.
Not gonna lie, I buy that from time to time.
It's okay.
It's not.
It's like a better version of vitamin water.
It's literally just way better than vitamin water.
Yeah. It's fine, but yeah. So he talked about hey, I know Kobe, da 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 da, and all the UFC guys and all the UFC media members are yeah, all right, you fucking know Kobe, and then so Kobe comes in, and he's oh Kendrick, what's up, man? And everyone after that started talking to him way different. It's fucking weird.
That's
in
amazing.
MMA. So there's a lot of cool stories like that about covering cards and being
That's
some of the only black journalists, and so it's just a fun discussion. Oh, also they talk about Mike Perry. It's man, Matt. I think Ant said Matt, you, me, and Andreas Hale, I think, are the only three people on Twitter when Mike Perry starts spouting that shit, being what the fuck, you guys? Nobody's saying anything about this. Everyone's just saying Tyron Woodley gave him a hood pass and now we're good.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun discussion. I really like all those dudes, especially Ant. Ant's a very funny dude and he's super nice. I've talked to him a bunch over the years and he's a very nice guy. So highly recommend checking that out. Did you listen to any new shows this week?
Fortunately, I didn't. I
I
don't
listened
know
to
if I looked hard enough.
I listened to 2 new ones, and they're actually both from MMA Today. I'll go through them real quickly.
Sure thing.
But MMA Today is evidently starting a bunch of new podcasts, or at least it seems that way. ContenderCast, episode 4, had Nolan King and Tony Finano.
Did you write it down?
Yeah, it's that, but with an N after the G. It auto-translated. It's
Fagnano.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's actually from San Diego, and
cool.
a journalist down here. But it's their first live episode, episode 4. They basically go through and break down the card for that Contender series. It's a recap, and it's really good. They did mention that Edmund is a training partner of Ronda Rousey and managed by Ronda Rousey. So if you weren't all surprised about him getting a contract, probably don't be surprised anymore. Yeah. They also go through, talk about Vanderford getting the win. Tony, he did give the nickname to, I want to say Onagetcha, or whatever that dude's name was. It was to do with a crazy name. Anyway, yeah. I know for a fact it rhymed with "I'm gonna get you" because he said that should be his nickname, and it fits pretty well. They also talk about Macy Barber being a prospect, which Tony calls her the female Aaron Pico. She's probably going a little far, but she is a beast. Then they have a segment called The White Decision. So they go through each fight and they talk about, if you were Dana White, is this one of the people you would have signed that week?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's an interesting discussion, and since it's hosted by Nolan King, who's broken most of the Contender Series news and has talked to a lot of the fighters on that show, even since the first season, it's a great, if you want to get a preview of Week 6, or if you want to recap a Week 5, it's the best show out there to do it. So I recommend checking that out. And then the other show they recently put out was WMMA Today, episode 4, which is hosted by Steve and Drake. No last names, so I have no idea. Can't help you.
Okay.
But they open with fight announcements, including Tatiana Suarez versus Carla Esparza for 228.
I like that fight.
They talk about Cyborg and Nunes going back and forth, and then they allude to Ray doing a lot of Cyborg's talking, and then the dude eventually gets tired of alluding to it and just straight up says that most of the drama with the UFC is probably Ray's fault.
Yeah.
Which is great to hear someone actually say it. And then they talk about the rumor of, which I hadn't heard, that if Amanda does go up to fight Cyborg, they're going to do a Holly versus Ketlin Vieira interim title fight.
I mean,
just like the most bullshit ever.
Well, then at this point, it's just common practice.
Well, dude, I figured out this week.
And predictable.
I didn't know that interim titles don't get you title pay.
See, that's what I thought. I thought because before it was said not on record, but on occasion by fighters in podcasts. I guess it's just a massive misunderstanding. I think
what they were saying is they get set up for a potential massive payday.
Fuck me, dude. I thought there was 2. Yeah, then fuck this.
Which makes sense exactly why they do interim so much.
That's exactly why Brian Ortega said fuck that.
Well, they get a title fight buy rate, but they don't have to pay out the same amount. So it's a way bigger profit for Endeavor, which is why they do it, I'm sure. Which is so upsetting. So they talk about all that, and then they do a recap of PFL. Oh, actually, sorry, they did mention, they didn't do a recap of PFL. They did they talked about Kayla Harrison. I think it was, oh God, what's dude's name? Ray. The dude who's not Ali for WSOF. He's with the Vegas camp.
Fuck.
Ray Cepho.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about Ray Cepho, who mentioned Kayla Harrison's probably going to be back on PFL 6 or 7. So that'll be interesting to see. And then they recap Macy on Contender Series, the Boise card, and Bellator 202, and do a preview for Invicta 30. So just both those shows are very informative, and they're dudes who are doing a lot of tape study on lesser known talent. So if you want to kind of get a heads up on, hey, who should I look out for from Invicta, or hey, who should I look out for in Contender Series, that's 100% the place you should go.
Oh yeah.
Super
I like
dope.
that. I like that they're covering that.
Yeah, and MMA Today puts out a ton of content, and it looks like they're putting out even more recently. And I'm a huge Nolan King fan, especially, so I am excited to see more of that going forward. Is there any other shows you wanted to shout out briefly?
Yeah, the interview of Anthony Smith on Unfiltered was cool. I didn't realize he's been a brown belt in jiu-jitsu for like 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
Jiu-jitsu was his first love, which got him into MMA after he wrestled in high school, I think it was. And
Interesting.
I think it was junior college. Mike Perry was interviewed. This was one of his best interviews I've heard in a while.
How many times did you use the M word?
0.
Oh, why? I thought he had a hood pass.
I know, I thought so too. He talked about how strict is his diet during camp. He said he does 30 days no alcohol. He said he was the only fighter at the UFC pool party, and he was during his weight cut, so he was just drinking a bunch of water and dancing in the sun. He said, which is no surprise, knowing how goofy he can be.
Checks out.
When he was interviewed, he says, "I'm very much looking forward to Colby versus Tyron." Says he hope it doesn't become a lay and pray from Colby, but he thinks Tyron will just catch him anyway because his takedown defense is too good. He talks about the comments that Colby said about his then girlfriend. He said doesn't give a fuck about what Colby has to say. It's a non-issue.
Yep.
He says, however, I won't forget what Brandon, kept calling him Brandon, of course, Brandon Schaub said about me a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago. He says all Brandon does is he gets paid to talk shit.
Not wrong.
And he's a bitch. Basically, he's saying Brandon's a bitch.
He is a heavyweight who fought, so I wouldn't talk that strongly about it.
Matt Serra would like to see Sage Northcutt fight Perry. No surprise there. Other than...
Oh, you brought that up again?
Of course.
God damn it, Matt. Matt just wants Sage to get killed.
Yeah, Heavy Hands was interesting.
I was going to bring it up. It was really good.
Yeah, Phil McKenzie thinks Shogun is a living embodiment of what the current state light heavyweight division is.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's in better shape now than he was when he was actually the fucking champ, which is kind of ironic.
Right. Actually, I may use his clip describing the Shogun versus Smith fight for the next break, because it's real fun.
Because they both sound confident in Shogun based on his fight IQ and
no
skills,
reason, though.
but then they're like, oh wait, but in our hearts we really think Smith will flatline him.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Because they're such Shogun marks. Like, they fucking love Shogun, but...
I think basically their most anticipated fight is Hawk Perast against Diakaze.
It's mine, too.
Mini Gastelum versus Mark Diakaze.
Yep. It's a great fight. It should be a great fight.
They said the UFC should not have matched these two together.
No. It's going to be very telling
and
for
then
one
as far as Junior DeSantis said, he's a measuring stick at this point. Other than that, I think, did I have one more to shout out? Yeah, obviously Fight Talk, they talked about Jamie Colleen.
Dude, that was the other one I wanted to talk about. It was really good.
Yeah.
Like, there was, like we said, there wasn't a ton of shows this week, but a couple of them were very solid.
They said, can we trust any Edmund Tarverdian coach fighter? I mean, they said...
No!
They said, well...
Why would you ever do that?
They said that kid looked pretty good, but who knows. They commend Michael Bisping for his commentary. They discussed Colby Covington, how they're on his bandwagon despite the cheesy act.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
The delicious cheese Covington.
Yeah, because of he's Chael's protege, pretty much. They discussed corruption in Russian promotion ACB. They think M1 should be Russia's premier organization. And they talk about Nico Montano versus Valentina Shevchenko being official for UFC 228.
Yep.
I just have to say, while I like watching my cousin Roxanne Modafferi fight, I'm glad she's not the champ, so I don't have to watch family die.
Fair. Although she fought Nico. I was kidding.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
She almost got the arm bar, bro.
She actually did, and she did okay in moments. That was obviously Fight Talk 114, I think, and then 115 was pretty good too, where they did a recap of Boise, and they did a preview for Hamburg, and they also had Daniel Movaheady on as a guest for once to actually talk about how his transition from fighter to ref to a UFC ref, because normally he just calls in and talks about whatever topic, not about himself. So that was pretty cool to hear. And then they had Brandon Dorman come on to talk UFC 100 as like a retrospective. So yeah, they put out some great content this week. Co-main event podcast was good, 314. Mostly just recapping the card and talking about Conor meeting Putin and the Dana-Israel beef.
Of course.
They did mention that if Shogun vs. DC happens, I believe Chad Dundas called it the equivalent of drive-by mooning the MMA gods.
Pretty much.
Which is pretty fucked up. Fights Gone By 90 was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I listened to that as well.
Yeah, talking about retroactive TUEs being bullshit and the dope Bellator welterweight turning
Yeah,
lineup.
and he's like, where the fuck is Ben Askren?
Yeah, which is a great fucking point. I would love to. He would. The problem is he'd win, and then he'd be Bellator champ, and they would have to deal with Ben Askren being Bellator champ again. So I don't know. Overall. There was some other stuff that came out, but those are the main ones that I saw. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to catch the Invicta preview that TJ Santos did, where he sits down with all the Invicta 30 fighters, and I didn't get a chance to listen to the Outsiders yet, which I bet is really good. But overall, considering there was a lot less podcasts that came out this week, I thought it was pretty good content for what did come out. Also, we haven't talked about the Bellator Dazen deal, right? Did we?
We have before in the past. That's that German kind of sports streaming thing, right?
Yeah. So do you know that they had a press conference where they announced details last week.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
So first off, it was super awkward, and it felt like an old E3 press conference where they're like showing graphs and everyone's like looking real. Well, it was like a Ubisoft press conference without all of the dancing bears and shit that they have at those things, and pre-Aisha Tyler. Let's see. So it is going to be 70 events, 55 exclusive events between boxing and MMA.
Okay.
It is $9.99 a month with a 30-day free trial, and starts sometime in September.
All right.
I believe Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting at Wembley on September 22nd, and then they announced that Bellator lineup, which you heard, and It turns out that Daly has been added to that as well.
So is this going to be some Bellator events exclusively on this
that's what it
streaming
like.
service?
That's what it sounds like. If there's
like
gonna
it's
be
essentially like their own version of Fight Pass.
Yeah, but I'm still wondering whether or not in the U.S. you're gonna be able to watch Bellator events on it.
Oh yeah, because it's a German thing, right?
I wonder if it's just gonna be the prelims.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting to worry, because they're not clearly stating that one way or another. So I don't know. And then the only other piece of news I wanted to mention is so far, Ali Abdelaziz went 4 for 4 with his fighters on week 1 of PFL. He went 3 for 6 on week 2. He went 2 for 4 on week 3, and he went 3 for 4 on week 4. Should be noted, on week 4 though, this week, he only went 3 for 4 because 2 of his fighters were fighting each other. Oh. So he is, 7, 9, 13, and no wait, that can't be right. 7, 9, 13, and 6, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
12 and 6, 13 and 6, somewhere around there. So upsetting.
But then again, he manages a shitload of fighters.
Well, he also used to work for the PFL as a matchmaker.
I know, that too.
And it was like...
So basically collusion.
More than collusion, probably money laundering if they plan this whole tournament so that they can get Ali Abdelaziz multiple millions of dollars that he can then launder out back to them.
Yeah.
Like a percentage of, and it gets Ali a big bankroll. Like this seems like the biggest money laundering scheme ever here. Real bad.
It's a possibility.
I mean, if 3 of his fighters win for each weight class, that's $3 million that Ali gets a part of, which probably also goes back into the PFL organization. Yeah. And it's now clean money. So, I don't know, man, but it seems real sketchy.
Look into it.
Yeah, I got my Eddie Bravo glasses on, for sure. These motherfuckers are probably getting their information from the library, if you know what I'm saying. But that'll go ahead and wrap up this segment. We will play the clip of Phil McKenzie describing this upcoming Hamburg card, and we'll be back with a quick Invicta preview. And then we will give our picks for the UFC Hamburg card, which should be interesting. I almost bought Jaeger for this episode, since Hamburg actually is like 2 miles from the Jaeger, like the home of Jaeger. But I'm pretty glad I didn't, because I don't like Jaeger at all.
Yeah,
it's not good. It's too sweet.
I like Jaeger, but that's because my grandma gave me a bunch of black licorice when I was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
So I got acclimated to the taste.
See,
And
I don't mind anise or anise.
yeah, I think it's anise.
People say it different way.
You know, fuck it, I don't know. What
Everyone
it's
says it a different way, and I just panic and say it both ways every time.
maybe it's like a British versus American thing where it's like potato.
Oh, you mean
basil,
like
basil.
actually, you should know the best example since it was the name of BYM this week. What was it? Vitamins and privacy.
Yeah, he's like, Lewis, the privacy and vitamins, and he's like, Michael, you said that, and he's like, you mean privacy?
He's like, no, you said privacy. He's like, what? Whatever.
He's like, vitamins.
Fucking
Yeah.
vitamins. Anyway, we'll be back. Listen to Phil McKenzie. He's hilarious, and we'll be back here in a second.
Oh yeah, I worked hard to get here.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hot out today. Cycling home from work was difficult.
Oh, started from the bottom of the tallest hill in London. Let's see. What are we here to talk about on today's episode of Heavy Hands? I'm getting distracted already.
A thrilling light heavyweight clash between a potential with title contentions.
No,
with
stop.
title implications on the line, Connor.
No, stop reminding me. Okay, I'll be honest.
Shogun Hua.
I'll be honest here. I'm sick. There's something wrong with me. So I still enjoy seeing Shogun Hua fight.
All right, everyone, we are back
Yeah.
for a segment of the preview. We're gonna do a quick preview of Invicta 30.
Yep.
Ufray versus Grusander.
Nailed it.
Yeah, something.
You got it right the second time. And this is, of course, out of Kansas City at the Scottish Rite Temple. Not Kansas City, Kansas, the other one.
Missouri. The bigger Kansas City.
Yeah, the better one.
The one with the better barbecue and where
Yeah.
all the sports.
And people
yeah,
and...
yeah.
It's just better.
Yeah. We'll leave
Plus,
it
it's
at
not in
that.
Kansas.
And
to Dan Riker.
as David Cross once said, I don't know anyone in Kansas City, which is good for people I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Checks out. Cool, man. I am excited about this card.
Yeah, I definitely recognize a couple names on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's telling of how this card's going to look when you look at this first fight. We'll start at the bottom. But to start the card, you have EBI champ Erin Blanchfield taking on Brittany Cloudy, which, when you look at their pro records, this fight looks not great. But when you actually look into their records, they are super experienced. Erin Blanchfield, of course, first 125-pound EBI champ, went through a fucking nasty group and did really well in that tournament. I believe won by RNC, I want to say. No, it might have been an arm. Oh, you know what? It was an arm bar where she hit it at a crazy
They
angle.
don't show EBI in here.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, EBI champ, which is super impressive, and that means her grappling is going to be pretty dominant. She does have a couple Amy fights, though, if you look back.
Yeah, it looks like she has one AMI fight.
Right, which she won by armbar, and then she had a fight in CFFC 70 in March.
She won via doctor stoppage at the very end of the very first round.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
Pretty impressive.
She's fighting against Brittany Cloudy, who has 7 wins, 2 losses. She's fighting out of Missouri. Brittany Cloudy. I'm trying to see names I could recognize.
She's mostly had a ton of amateur fights, like a ton.
These are like all Amis.
Yeah.
So this is her pro debut. Okay.
Like it's her pro debut, but
Excuse me, she had an amateur record.
of 7-2, which is a pretty extensive record. Basically, the things to look for in this fight, from what I saw in the tape, was Blanchfield obviously has a slick submission game, and she has extremely slick transitions between subs. Like, I believe she went to lock up Kimura to win the EBI, or at least in one of her EBI matches, She went for a Kimura, lost position, went for a triangle that she then transitioned into a guillotine or something like that. She just crazy, like scrambly transitions. Really solid top game as well. But there's only one video with footage of her fighting, so makes it kind of hard to tell. Cloudy has slick Muay Thai. She's super quick, and she has decent takedown defense, but obviously nowhere near the level grappling that Blanchfield does. So I'm going Blanchfield by sub just off of her EBI experience and how high level her grappling is. Because she beat some absolute monsters in that 125
I mean, I'm not
EBI
going to lie.
tournament.
I'm probably just going to agree with everyone you say.
So for that, well, I'm going to start making you pick these just based off of MMA math here in a minute. But, yeah, I'm going that way. I would not be surprised, though. Brittany Cloudy has very sharp, like, quick hands and has decent Muay Thai. Like, she put it on some girls. I just think that eventually Blanchfield's going to be able to get the takedown. And definitely by sub, probably earlier than later. I would say maybe like late first, early second. But I think it's going to be a fun fight, and that's telling when you have an ABI champ like starting off the card. That's the first fight on this card. Which a lot of people give Invicta shit for having a lot of fighters who don't have like extensive records. But number one, there's not a lot of organizations putting on women's fights, and number two, a lot of these women have like fucking 6 or 7 AMI fights prior to their Invicta debut, so like a lot of that is kind of people not doing their research and just assume, like looking at pro records and being like, well, they've had one of them has had one fight.
So did you want to go through the entire card?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it super quick.
Okay. Let's see. So next up we have Elise Anderson going up against Stephanie Alba. Elise Anderson has a pro record of 3-1. She fights out of Michigan. Stephanie Alba has a professional record of 3 wins, 2 losses. She fights out of Houston, Texas. Elise Anderson, she's coming off her last fight being a loss, a split decision loss to Shino Van Hoos at Invicta 25, which was last August.
Yeah, Elise is more of an orthodox, she stands an orthodox stance. She's a grinder. Decent wrestling. She definitely prefers a single leg and has a pretty solid top game. She is a big green on the feet, though, and has some holes in her striking defense.
Oh, I see. This atom weight. So she's a pretty big atom weight at 5'5".
Yeah, but like that's pretty fucking huge for 105. And then she did gas late in her last fight. I thought she won it, even though it's a loss on her record. But Alba has some rough striking, but okay Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And she fought
wow.
Ashley Cummins last time out.
Looks like Alba, she's 4'11".
Whoa, that's a big size difference. I didn't realize that.
Wow.
But she did fight Ashley Cummins last time out, which Ashley Cummins is a fucking beast. And she hung in there with her at least. But yeah, I'm still going Elise on this one for sure. I mean, the size difference alone, you kind of have to.
That's what I was thinking. No disrespect to Alba, but
yeah. I'm going Elise probably by decision, I'm thinking.
Next up, we have another atom weight bout between Jillian DeCourcy. Looks like pretty much most of these fighters are all-American, except for the third to last fight is when it's American versus Brazilian. So 2 Americans here again. Jillian DeCourcy, Alicia Zapatella. Jillian DeCourcy has a professional record of 2 wins, 0 losses.
But also skull down. Definitely more fights than that.
Oh yeah, very extensive and impressive.
This is what I'm talking about. People are like, "Oh, she's had 2 fights." You're like, "Nah, dog. She's had like 10 or 15 fights." But
yeah, she's a 7-1 amateur record, so she's got the experience. That's why she's 2-0 as a pro. Alicia Zapatella, she's 4'11". Oh, and DeCourcy's 5'2". This is kind of like the range of height you're going to see between atom weights. Her style says wrestling. She fights out of Michigan as well. her professional record is 2 wins, 0 losses. And her amateur record is 1 win, 2 loss, 1 draw.
Ooh, she does have a fight in Kunlun, though, which is cool.
Yeah, shouts out to Iron Fist for all you Marvel Comics nerds. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to lean here. I'd be leaning towards DeCourcy because she has a more extensive amateur record.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So here's what So DeCourcy throws a lot of straight 1-2s, but has some chain punching and pretty rough takedown defense. Although she does have a scrambly guard and some good sweeps. And her top game is actually pretty heavy, and she has good ground and pound.
Okay.
Alicia has super little footage. It should be noted, though, that her win in Combates was overturned because she popped for weed. So, not necessarily something to hold against someone. And she has a decent top game, but she's also hittable. So, it'll be interesting to see what this looks like on the feet. I have a feeling they're both just going to, walk at each other, throwing, rope combinations until they hit the clinch and this goes to the ground. And I'm definitely leaning DeCourcy in this one, probably by TKO, just because I think she's going to do a little bit better on the feet. But if Alicia's able to start working a top game, that could definitely be trouble.
So next up we have a women's bantamweight bout between Carrie Kennison and Stephanie Geltmacher.
Sure.
Geltmacher, yeah. Scary Carrie has a professional record of 3 wins, 0 losses. She fights out of Hooksett, New Hampshire. And her opponent, Stephanie Geltmacher, looks like she took a webcam photo for her Tapology.
Right.
Submitted that. Fights out of Oklahoma. She has a record of 2 wins, 0 losses.
Although, when you scroll down...
Oh, for Kennison or... Well,
hella amateur experience again.
Kennison, looks like 4 wins.
Yeah, 4-1 is an Emmy.
Okay. And Geltmacher is 3-1. Okay.
The thing that's even crazier about most of these, when you look at their Emmy records, shitload of canceled bouts. Shitload of them on every one of these fighters. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's pretty prominent.
Because there's a lot of fights that fall through for the women.
I'll have you give the rundown, but I'm probably going to be leaning towards Kennison because she has finishes via a submission.
Smart. Kennison out-wrestled Chandler pretty easily. She has a solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game and a good top game. She also has a decent left hook.
Okay.
Whereas Geltmacher has one fight online that I could find. She's a grindy, solid wrestler, good takedowns, and a heavy top game. So I have Kennison off a close decision, but she definitely, I feel like, has the more big show experience, having fought in Bellator.
So she's gonna get the steel stairs because she's the big show and hit someone.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I know, right? Had to go there.
Can you smell what the big show is cooking? Because he's never not eating.
Yeah. And he's always crying, right? I don't know. I haven't watched WWE in 15 years. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched WWE. All of my WWE.
Oh no! I've said this before. I went to the only SmackDown event I went to. I was like, fuck this shit, because Rey Mysterio lost in a live taping, and then they have him win when no one cares.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's 100% how that shit always goes. Also, 100% of my pro wrestling knowledge comes from the Laps Fan Podcast, so I don't know shit about pro wrestling. Any reference I make is just a reference to the Laps Fan Podcast, to be fair.
So next will be the bantamweight bout between
the most American profile picture I've ever seen, and
Miranda,
also
Maverick.
Jesus-y.
Maverick. If you couldn't get more Maverick than Maverick, let me guess. Her favorite movie is Top Gun.
Oh my God! Wait, can I just read this?
Yeah.
This is on her picture
Lord.
for
literally.
For Tapology. Praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. Also phrasing. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer. Deliverer is a weird
my
word.
shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues people under me.
Yeah, that There's a weird
Where's-
sexual vibe to that.
Where's Yoel Romero when you need him? Because she's clearly a soldier of Maverick God.
I mean, Yoel does want people to know that he doesn't want people to forget Jesus.
Yeah.
Or forgave them.
Yeah. Brogan.
Yeah, she's taking on Brogan Walker Sanchez. Killer B.
Brogan? Okay.
It's a pretty good name. I like it.
Yeah.
Brogan.
Brogan Sanchez has a record of 5 wins, 0 losses. She fights out of Guam. She's no AMI fights listed, so just straight up pro, 5-0. Maverick here, 3-0 as a pro, and extensive 6-1 as an AMI.
Yeah.
And she's 3-0. She has a couple submission victories. A lot of... Wow.
7-1,
okay, so her
actually.
bread and butter looks like grappling and jiu-jitsu. Brogan looks like a kickboxer.
Yep, pretty
Muay
much.
Thai. Yeah, I am going to go Maverick, the soldier of God.
That's not a terrible pick. Miranda does. So Miranda switches stances pretty regularly. She has a close win over Gabby from EBI, which was really impressive. She has decent boxing and a good clinch game, and good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially on the defense. She's tough, but she did get caught with an armbar, with a really deep armbar versus Gabby in the second. And Brogan is clinchable but grindy. She has sharp boxing, and she did get countered by Murasaki with takedowns on kicks. So that is the only thing that worries me, is that if at all Miranda is able to work any kind of wrestling game against her, I think she could take it out. But I'm actually going to go Brogan by decision, because that fucking Tapology picture
Looks pretty menacing.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like Jim Cornette on the Laps Fan podcast. I can't, Chris. I can't.
Or like Hank Hill from Savage MMA.
Right, I always forget about that dude.
That reminds me, someone at work, it was so slow at work the other day, this guy was watching King of the Hill on his phone while rolling silverware, and it was the episode, I can't remember how great this one, it's where they all go fishing, and they put crack on their end of their line,
right.
and the fish goes crazy, and it comes back and slaps fucking Hank in the face because it wants more crack.
I forgot all about that. There's some weird shit in that show that you forget about because it's so mundane.
Yeah. So next...
Propane accessories.
But Dad! Shut up, Bobby. We have...
Old Ladybird.
And then, wait, what was it? His niece, right? The blonde chick who's always like just like in a fucking stressed out. Like,
Something like that, yeah.
Something's going on. Heather Jo Clark.
Yep.
Recognize her.
Tough alum.
Pro record of 7 wins, 6 losses. Fighting at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. Going up against Brazilian Kimberly Novaes. Professional record of 9 wins, 4 losses. This is a strawweight bout. Or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Heather Jo Clark. It's been a little rocky lately, but holy shit, look who she's fought.
Exactly. Her
Wow.
last 5 or 4 at least
Wow.
opponents. No, wait. Her last 6.
So
no, 5
she
opponents.
lost a unanimous decision in her last fight. UFC Fight Night. Jesus. Okay. So she hasn't fought in almost 2 years.
Holy shit, I forgot her and Felice fought in Bellator back in 2013. Yeah, she's had a decent amount of time off. I've mostly only heard her on the MMA Roasted podcast, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but her recent losses are to Alexa Grasso and
Carolina.
And has a win over Beck Rowlings and a loss to Felice Herrig.
2 losses, one of them being exhibition
Well,
and tough.
yeah.
Kimberly.
No, one of them was a loss in Bellator and an exhibition.
That's what I'm saying. 2 losses, one of them being an exhibition.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
No, wait. That's the...
That's
I thought...
his-
Oh,
that's
you're
his
right. It was during the
exhibition bout.
season.
During
You're
tough,
right. You're
yeah.
right.
Kimberly Novaes is on a 3-fight skid.
Tough competition as well, though, at least in the last 2.
Yeah.
Siri Kondo and Janessa Mirandon, both of which are tough fucking outs. I think this is going to be a scrappy fight and a lot of fun. Heather Jo Clark definitely needs a win in a real way, especially having so much time off. Clark, of course, has decent wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She does have she had a lot of trouble with long combos against Alexa Grasso, though. and she is a bit hesitant, and she's the most clinchable fighter maybe ever, aside from Cyborg. Kimberly has an okay clinch and underhook game, and mostly throws counter hooks.
Is it Kimberly? Oh, it's Kimberly.
Yeah, shouts out to Brazil for always doing shit like
very
that.
Very hipster of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Kimberly by decision off of a fucking very ugly clinch win.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to agree with you there because I don't really have...
I would like Heather Jo Clark to win this fight just because I like Heather Jo Clark. She can take a joke and she's very funny on MMA Roasted. But yeah, I definitely have Kimberly off of an ugly decision.
Her calling herself Kimberly is like if you said the name Chris.
Well, to be fair, she didn't call herself Kimberly.
I know, but if your name was Hey Kreese.
Oh, it's like those assholes who spell Chris without an H.
Well, okay, to be fair, if it's like a...
Don't be fair.
Well, if I'm fair, the Spanish spelling Cristobal.
That's different.
C-R-I-S.
That's different.
That's
Brazilian spelling. That's different.
Yeah, but if you spell it with a K, go fuck yourself. No.
I agree.
I guess unless you're German, but I'm not going to justify that. Because I've never seen a German with, like, it's Kristofer, fuck you. No.
Well, they also still go by Christopher.
I know. I get that, but the spelling is just too... Like, Auf Wiedersehen, that's what I say to that. No. Just get out of here.
Well done and on brand for this weekend's UFC card.
Yeah.
We'll keep on moving on. We are in the co-main event. Felicia Spencer versus Helena Kolesnik.
Felicia Spencer, the Canadian phenom. I love the misspell. Wow, they're trying to be artsy. Whatever.
Well, Felicia phenom.
Yeah. God damn it.
Listen, girls need cute gimmicks, Chris. It's their whole thing.
That's like if your name had something like TRU and you're like, my nickname is Trouble, TRUBBL, like Bubble. Or some dumb
Or like
shit.
if you owned a streaming company and you called it DAZN and you tried to make people pronounce it DAZN. Or like if you owned a Japanese organization that you wanted called Risen, yet you spelled it RIZIN, not EN.
Yeah.
I'm going to spell your fucking shitty acronym, however your shitty acronym looks like it should be said.
Helena, pretty, Kolesnik. Definitely pretty.
I mean, not great for your record when your nickname and photo are of you being attractive. Generally, don't think you're going to do well when I see that.
Yeah. Either she has insane defense and, elusiveness. We'll see. She is a boxer. We shall see. But yeah, Felicia Spencer.
Also, spoiler alert, she doesn't.
She doesn't. Then there we go. Felicia Spencer has an amateur record of 5 wins, 1 loss. Okay. And a pro record of 4 wins, 0 losses. Looks like she's got
all
a
4 wins in Invicta, too, which is impressive.
That is impressive. Her last fight was a year ago. No, excuse me. That's... Don't believe me there. It was just this past January of this year. Helena Kolesnik. Her last fight was against Pam Sorensen. She got armbarred.
Yep.
July of 2017.
Yeah, so
damn, dude, she had fought in April. I guess that's not too much fun. Okay. She had a win, though. Vietnamese.
Yeah, but it's
strikes,
tech rep and WBK.
Looks like she'd be almost Muay Thai in a way.
She definitely is. So Spencer is an orthodox fighter. She's a decent brawler, kickboxer. She had some trouble with volume against Tequila, but she has a decent clinch. It reminds me a lot of Sarah Morris. Like, her wrestling and clinch game reminds me a lot of Sarah. She has good cardio, and is just a tough out. She's just grindy and a tough out, and has good top game. And will just work the clinch and wrestling and, like, clinch takedowns in a way that I think is going to give Helena a lot of problems. Where Helena is basically a kickboxer who throws a lot of straight shots. But she has very rough takedown defense, and or at least against Pam, she had super rough takedown defense.
I'm going with Felicia based on just your breakdown. So I'll take your tape study over my non-tape study.
Fair. Yeah, I'm going Spencer via decision.
I don't want to be like Brandon and be like, well, Pretty has a pretty good chance, Chris, so I think I'm going to go with her,
That's good quality content right there.
Yeah, or what does he say? You said, what's his stupid fucking catchphrase now?
What else you got?
God damn it.
He literally has started saying that, like, maybe 20 to 30 times a show, on multiple shows. He does it on Fighter and the Kid and on the Big Brown Breakdown.
And then that brings us to the main event of this card. A veteran that we have seen before, Jinyu Frey.
Yeah, well, two vets. That
Two vets. I'm not going to lie, I would recognize...
You've probably seen Mina Grutzender, because her last fight was against somebody notable, I think.
The Finnish fight.
Also, I really like the name Brute School. I don't know what it means, but it sounds cool.
Probably brutal something. The Brute. I don't know. Jin Yu, she has a professional record of 6 wins, 3 losses. She fights out of Arlington, Texas.
Yep.
Amateur record of 1-2, but she's the current atomweight champ.
Yeah.
Yes. So
her last couple fights have been pretty interesting. Wait, scroll down. How the fuck is she an atomweight champ when Zoe? Right, because Zoe Ham vacated, right? Oh no, wait, sorry, that was in Road FC. That's why.
Maybe she's not
different organization.
Maybe she's not
different organization. Scroll down. Yeah, she is.
Here she is.
Road FC was where that fight was, where she lost. So she still has the Invicta belt.
Oh.
Where she won over Smashley Cummins, which was a good fight.
Yeah.
And then before that, she lost to Yaka Hamasaki, which, dude, Yaka Hamasaki's still a fucking beast. Has wins over Erica Tiburcio, who's also a fucking monster, and Cassie Robb has a loss by split decision to Jody Escobar.
Okay.
Like, she'd been around for a while, and since she's able to fight at 105 in Invicta, she's definitely looks a lot better at that weight class. Mina Grusander, if you scroll down, is pretty green, but has had her last fight was against Priscilla.
5-0 as a Ami.
Yeah, she fought on Ladies Fight Night before that. Also FNF, which I'm sure doesn't stand for something horrible. From the tape study I did, Jinyu Frey is a southpaw with tight boxing and low kicks.
It's probably like Finnish Knights of Fighting or some shit like that.
It's probably way worse than that. It's probably like fucking Night Fantasies. Fight Night Finland.
No.
Okay, that's not nearly as awful as I thought it was gonna be. I just assume women's. Whenever I see fucking letters on a women's fight, I assume it's in a horrible organization where there's like fucking super sketchy ring card girls and like. I expect it to be a chatterbait show almost. Let me put it that way.
Do we expect to see ring boy Elias Theodoro at Invicta?
Probably. It should be interesting to see how that plays out. I know that you did tell me Hannibal Buress is sponsoring this one again.
Yeah, so expect to see his face
all over that shit. Yeah, which is great. Overall,
I don't really know who to pick. I'm kind of leaning Frey because I've seen her fight. I don't really know Grusander.
I think that's the right way to go on this, probably. Jinyu Frey did look really good, even in the Sohei Ham fight at Road FC, before Sohei Ham caught the counter TKO at the bell in the first. It was like right at the bell. And she just countered her with a huge shot, which Sohei Ham does. Whereas Mino is an orthodox counter brawler and pretty hittable. And super clinchable. She has 0 head movement and very rough striking defense. She circled towards the power side of Kondo the entire time. So I'm definitely gonna go with Jinyu Frey, probably by decision, but I would not be surprised if Mina just gets smashed out of nowhere with like a long combo. But I could be wrong. We'll see. I'm excited either way. And I highly recommend people check out that card. Don't miss Invicta. Invicta's going to have the more fun fights this weekend. I will put fucking money on it. Speaking of putting money on fights, some of these fucking odds on this fight night card in Hamburg are ridiculous. Why don't we go ahead and jump over to that and we'll start at the bottom.
So first up we have, and this is in Hamburg, Germany, right?
Hamburg.
The Hamburg, Germany.
2
And
miles.
Hamburg is where they invented the hamburger. Just kidding. I just made it up, but it's probably true.
It might be.
Actually, that's actually probably very true.
I don't know. It wasn't on the Three Sheets episode, which you guys can totally find if you go to our YouTube channel, the Sound of Violence Podcast. If you search that, it'll come up. We did add the Three Sheets episode to our playlist for this week.
So first up, we have a bantamweight bout between Polish fighter Damian Stasiak going up against Chinese fighter Pingyang Liu. First of all, Damian Stasiak has a professional record 10-5. I just want to ask you this, Chris. Does this guy look 28 or 35?
Oh, I was going to go older than 35, so...
39. Got it.
Yeah.
42.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
40.
closer to that than I would say to 28. He doesn't look a year younger than me, I'll put it that way. And I don't look good for my age either.
And he doesn't look a year older than me.
Right.
That's a very big difference.
That's a huge difference.
He makes me look like I'm 18.
He looks like he's got 15 years on you, for sure.
Jesus Christ. Pingyang Liu, no age. So this guy's clearly immortal. He's probably from Kunlun.
Well, they don't have ages in China.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever actually age until you die.
Yeah. And he's probably from Kunlun, so there's
Kunlun?
that.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
Kunlun. He's fighting out of Henan, China. He has a professional record of 13 wins, 4 losses. Damon Stasiak, last time we saw him, he got knocked out by Brian Boom Keller.
Yeah, which he was doing really well in that fight prior to that knockout.
A year and a half ago.
He was doing
No, not a year and a half. What the fuck am I talking about? Last October.
Yeah, he was doing really well in that fight up until he got clipped.
He also has a loss before that to Pedro Munoz. He's fought 2 tough competitors. He has win over prospect Davey Grant.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's fought some guys.
Also, calling Davey Grant a prospect at this point
is he a prospect?
Maybe generous.
I have no idea.
We'll get to him later.
Okay.
Because he's on this card.
Oh, wonderful. Pingyang Liu, I think this is UFC debut? Yes.
Yes, it definitely is because I was able to find one of his fights. I don't even remember which one. There's not a lot of footage, although Zane Simon did key me into the secret on the MMA Vivisection. If you translate his name to Chinese and then search that, you actually can find some footage, but you have to do whatever weird set of steps to do that. So
almost sounds like you need an algorithm. So
pretty
fuck
much.
that.
Yeah,
I don't know who to go with this, but I've done this before, since it's Liu's debut, I'm just gonna go with Stasiak, who fought the 2 known vets in Kelleher and Munoz.
Yeah, that's the way I'm taking this too. Stasiak, orthodox grappler. Good kicks and spinning shit. He did clip Kelleher early in their fight and drop him. And look pretty good. He does reach a bit on takedowns though, but he does have decent takedowns. And Liu, from the one fight I could find, has heavy hands and decent boxing. So I'm going Stasiak by sub, just because I haven't seen there's not enough footage on Liu for me to be remotely confident. Also, we're now to, let's get to Jeremy Kimball and then we'll get to Senor Baby Eaters.
Yeah, and based on that guy's first name,
These
I
dudes
knew
have
he
the
was Serbian.
They have the exact opposite build.
Okay, so first off, we have Jared. This is a lightweight bout, if I remember.
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Light
Definitely
heavyweight.
not lightweight. Excuse me. I was thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight bout between Jeremy Grizzly Kimball,
Also,
the American who's 15-7.
Yeah, he's the one with the neck beard. If you can't remember him.
Yes. And he's going up, and I knew this guy was Serbian because I played GTA 4. We have to kill that guy named Darko.
Right.
Yeah, you execute him. Well, you don't have to.
Also,
but it's more
the
fun.
baby eaters on this dude, they're above his chin.
Darko Stosic.
His fucking traps are above his chin. It's
So
insane.
is it if he wins, he'll be like, "Hey, Mike Kaiser, want to go bowling?"
His traps are almost closer to his ears than his chin. It's
I feel like
fucking
if
insane.
you went bowling with this guy, his traps are so huge he would burn a hole on burn a streak on the lane, or throw the fucking ball.
That's
to
what
the
I was
ceiling.
gonna say. He would just chuck the ball into the pins overhand.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Just saying something.
Yeah.
Just throw a fucking fastball down.
Yeah. No, he's just overhanding
You
fucking
already-
bowling balls.
You already know some dumb motherfucker's done that and probably ruined part of the fucking flooring.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My drunk friends have probably actually I've seen my drunk friends try and do that before. I saw a drunk friend try and
It
shot.
always makes you a little envious of those people who can. I've done it like maybe once.
Spin?
Where you spin it and it fucking does like really curveball.
Give me
I've seen one like fucking just glides on the edge of the lane.
Give me a day, I can
bam.
teach you how to do it.
Okay.
It's
I've only
really
done
easy.
it like once. I know. I've done it like good
There's
once.
the easy way and the hard way. The easy way, take your thumb out of the ball. It's fucking simple. You can
Or
just
do you just palm it like no
yeah,
fingers?
You palm it.
And
No, 2 fingers.
Oh, so it is 2. Okay.
But like that's
Because
the
I know if
easy
you put
way.
your thumb, can't you like break your thumb off?
No, you can roll with your thumb
Okay.
because of the way you let go.
Yeah. Just the wrist where you exit.
I went bowling like every Wednesday in high school because they had the open bowling, like you pay $20 or whatever, and everybody gets to play for like however long. So we were all like 15 or whatever, so we'd buy like a couple 12 packs, leave them in the trunk, and then just walk outside between games and pound like 3 beers and come back in. And so yeah, I got pretty okay at bowling. I can hang it a little bit. It takes me like 2 games and getting trashed, and then I start getting good.
I'm
would garbage until
being trashed and playing the glow in the dark bowling could be kind of cool. Or it could be very desensitized.
Yeah. It's a lot of throwing balls into the gutter at a certain point, though. Unfortunately.
So, anyways, we're not going to talk about bowling.
No,
and
despite
our cousins.
wanting to.
Jeremy-
This dude looks like he could bowl all right.
Jeremy Kimball, last time we saw him, got rear naked choked last December by Dominic Reyes, who has been living up to the hype so far.
Yeah.
He had a win over Josh Stansberry, former Tough winner. No,
Tough contestant.
Excuse me, I'm thinking of Sanchez from that same season.
Yep.
For that, he lost. So he's 2-3 in his last 3 fights. He's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. Excuse me.
Yeah, 1-3 in the UFC.
Yeah. Before he lost to Marcos Jr. de Lima via punches. His opponent,
1-2, I should say, sorry.
Mr. Baby Eater himself and Nico's cousin, Darko. Is his
cousin Darko.
Yeah, right. Is his UFC debut. For that, he fought Tomasz Czerwiński in Serbia regional final fight. Great name, yeah. Dude, I don't know this. I have a feeling like that Kimball's gonna starch him, but dude, this guy's baby eaters are just saying, "I'm juiced, bam, you're knocked out," and then he gets caught by USADA.
That's real likely.
That's my pick.
Is that your pick?
Fuck it.
KO and then caught by USADA?
Yeah. KO by fucking bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling pinned to the dome.
So after doing some tape study, that's also my pick.
Wow. So this guy just... Wait, let me see this...
Kimball.
Wow. Sorry. KO, TKO. Wow. Leg kick. Yeah, by bowling pin. Leg kick to the head.
Well, also that fight against Zahariev, like that dude kind of just didn't want anything to do with leg kicks. He does have 2 wins over Deion Sterling.
Wait, what's key lock? Is that like a...
Kimura.
Okay.
Or it's a variation of it. Like it's like a Kimura. I want to say
dude,
Americanas and key locks are the same, but I
was so confused when I saw this. I thought it said win by Connor stoppage, and I thought McGregor like stormed the fucking octagon.
Dude, no, that was the Chris Brennan fight. Charlie Brennan.
Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward. Jesus
We're
Christ.
thinking of Brandon Ward for Bellator.
I went Brennan.
But Charlie Ward's also in Bellator.
Yeah, I went Brennan Ward, Chris Brennan,
Charlie
Brennan, Charlie Ward.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Darko via bowling pin to the head.
Yeah, I got Darko via KO and early.
Yeah,
and then
Donnie Darko is gonna win.
And then Jeff Nowitzki. My notes even stay.
The golden snitch will prevail.
Yeah, my notes even say Stasiak. Hello, Nowitzki. He does have heavy kicks and counter hooks, so I do think he's going to clip Kimball, who gets clipped in a lot of his fights.
Next up, we have Dennis Bermudez' brother. Just kidding. I don't think so.
Not at all.
I know. Manny Bermudez going up against Davey Grant, Dangerous Grant, the Brit, the Englishman, whatever. Actually, I don't even know if he's English. Yes, he is.
He definitely is.
Yep, with that kind of name. Manny Bermudez, the American, is 12-0.
Yeah, look pretty impressive lately.
Wow, he's only 24. Okay, this is a bantamweight bout. Last time we saw Manny Bermudez, he... Oh, it was his debut.
Yeah.
He choked out Albert Morales. Okay.
I don't remember that being...
Last February.
Was that a... I
Triangle?
thought he hit a guillotine.
I don't know.
Am I
We'll
thinking
have
of
to look
somebody
into it.
else? Oh, no, you know what? I'm thinking of the other dude on this card.
Davey Grant, however, lost to Damian Stasiak last October via armbar. He has a win over Marlon Chito Vera, one of our fan favorites and one of our podcast favorites. Holy shit, though. Last time he fought was, almost 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say...
Wait, I thought Bermudez's last... No, Bermudez's last move was a guillotine. I don't know why the fuck they have triangle.
By the way, I'm going to go with Bermudez. Instead, he's 12-0. I don't care if he's only had one UFC fight. This dude, Grant, hasn't fought in like 2 years almost.
Right, and has the loss to Stasiak.
Yes, I know, everyone. We got that one pick wrong like fucking 2 months ago where there's a Brazilian guy who hadn't fought in 4 years and he came out and starched the guy. Yes, it can happen. We get it. Where people, they don't fight. There was a Brazilian guy that were like, fuck that. He hasn't fought 4 years. I can't pick that. And he ended up starching.
Well, Chad Mendez is a good example also.
2 years. Dominic Cruz, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going Bermudez.
Yeah, I am too. I'm going Bermudez via sub, probably guillotine because because Davey does stick his head into a lot of guillotines, but what are you going to do?
Next up, we have American
this
Justin El Blanco Ledet.
Oh, you guys would know Justin by his awful hair last time out, where he had the top of his head and the sides of his head shaved, and then a very long mullet-y thing behind him.
Oh yeah, a rat tail.
No, it wasn't even a rat tail.
Oh,
it was like a mullet where you shaved the
this?
top and head and then sides.
Wait, you shave?
So it's just the hair in the back. It's just the party in the back.
I was gonna say that's.
It's all that's left. There's no
fuck?
business in the front. It's like cage fighter in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, that doesn't. Where does this guy? What the fuck country is that? Oh, it is Austria. I was like, what the fuck is that? Austria?
Yeah, I don't know what the Austrian
It is
flag
Austria,
looks
okay.
like.
Alexander Rakic, whatever. 9 wins, 1 loss. This is a light heavyweight bout. He's a Muay Thai fighter. This is his second UFC fight. Before that, he defeated Francimar Barroso.
Who's been looking real good in PFL.
This was last September.
Pizza Fun League.
Yep. Pro Football League, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's the Pizza Fun League. I specifically got pizza.
Justin Ledet's a big guy. He's 6'4". Oh, but so is this guy. They're both huge.
Yeah, they're both very big. They're very big for 205.
I'll be honest. I don't know who to pick in this fight.
So, if you remember, last time out, Justin Ledet basically won a fight by jabbing Anyanwu in the face 400
is Ledet
times.
going down?
No, they're both 205ers.
Dude, Chase Sherman's a heavyweight, though, right?
I mean, he dropped after the Chase Sherman or Godbeer fight. Or wait, no, didn't Chase Sherman move up? If you click the plus on that, it'll tell you exactly where that weight was at. If you go back, click the plus to the right.
Oh, is that heavyweight?
That was a heavyweight. So
Okay,
wait, what's the
and then-
next one?
Heavyweight.
What's the next one?
This is light heavyweight debut.
Okay. So, wait, the
This is his
Anyanwu fight was
Heavyweight, yeah.
weird.
So this is his light heavyweight debut, unless it's
Interesting.
an error.
No, you're right.
Yeah, he's dropping the light heavyweight
Huh.
in this fight. Okay. That's probably bad, considering it'll affect his everything. But, I mean, he'll have more power, maybe, but
It'll be interesting.
I don't know.
So which way you leaning?
I do have no fucking clue.
So here's what I figured out from tape study. Ledet, of course, has the solid jab and actually pretty decent striking defense. He basically jabbed and circled the entire fight against, what's-his-face, Anyanwu. Ray kick, or however you say it, is orthodox stance. He is a low-volume boxer who flurries with some good low kicks. This fight, as far as I can tell from tape study, this is going to be Ledet's jab versus Ray kick's low kick. And it's definitely going to decision because they're both very low volume.
Okay.
So
what do you think?
I'm going Ledet via ugly decision, but I think it could go either way.
I'm just gonna go with you. I mean,
I might be wrong.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just go based on my instinct. I'm gonna go with Ray Kick via Ray Kick, because this is light.
What you did there, I see it.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid as shit. Light heavyweight. I don't know. He's dropping down in weight. I don't know. I feel like this gotta be faster. I literally have no clue. There's no logic in this.
That's fair.
So you're going with Ledet?
Yep.
All right. So next up is two featherweights I have never heard of, and no disrespect to them.
It's both their debuts.
Oh, then that explains it. So hopefully they will be this week. This might be a great fight.
One of these guys is my pick on Magwar this week.
We got Englishman Nad Narimani going up against German Khalid Taha. Narimani is 10-2 as a professional. Fights out of Bristol, England. Okay, he has a win over Paddy Pimblett in his last fight.
Super fucking dominant win over Paddy Pimblett.
Wow.
He beat the shit out of Paddy Pimblett.
So this is why this guy's in the UFC. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's winning me over so far. Let's see what Khalid Taha offers. He's fighting out of Dortmund, Germany. He fought in Brave CF. Beat Hamza Al-Kuhaji via rear-naked choke. Lost to a Japanese guy in Ryzen named Takafumi Otsuka.
Yeah, he lost to Otsuka and then had a win over Ishibashi.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with this Narimani dude.
Smart. Narimani's orthodox boxer with pretty solid boxing. He lit Paddy up in their fight. He was okay on the feet, but his wrestling and BJJ defense.
Wasn't Paddy hyped to be the next young McGregor kind of guy or some shit? BJ?
Yeah, but his game is nothing like McGregor's. He's mostly a submission grappler with he's more of a Gunnar Nelson than he is a Conor McGregor.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
is Pimblett out of SBG? I can't remember or no.
No, because Pimblett's British.
Yeah.
So I forget where he's out of, but yeah, Narimani has this super solid top game and heavy ground and pound. Taha is a kickboxer with mostly looping power shots and low kicks, but pretty fucking rough takedown defense and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from bottom. So I've got Narimani via TKO ground and pound.
That sounds
all
good.
day. I even picked him up in fantasy because I think he's gonna get the first round finish probably.
So next up, we have a fighter who is basically a Viking because you can't finish this guy, even at 30%.
Yeah.
In Emil Valhalla Mech, going up against... Oh, and he's the Norwegian. Going up against Poland's Bartosz Fabinski.
Yep, great name.
Emil Mech, last time we saw him, hence the 30%, fought against Kamaru Usman. And... it was kind of as you expected.
He's also been training with Usman for the last month.
Which is interesting.
Which is 100% going to be the factor
because
in
his
this
takedown
fight.
defense wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
Okay, it was bad.
It was fine if you realized that Usman was injured the entire time.
Yeah, hence that 30%.
Yeah, but he also didn't do anything.
Yeah.
To win any part of that fight.
Yeah,
really.
I mean,
he had a couple good body kicks and
he
leg kicks.
Survived.
His kick game is fine. It's his wrestling game that's hot garbage. And he's fighting Fabinski, whose wrestling game is pretty much his game.
Okay, so is there just one way to lean then?
Well, so here's the problem. So like I said, Mech has really rough takedown defense but good kicks. Fabinski is a good wrestler with a heavy top game. I'm going Fabinski by decision, but the only thing that makes me really question it is the fact that Mech has been working with Usman. Because if Usman has taught him how to dig a fucking underhook, which he never does, then he could easily win this fight. Yeah, just grab a whizzer or stop takedowns at all. That would be huge in this fight. I just don't know that he picked it up. Because Mech's been around, if you go back to Mech, how old is this dude? He's been around for a long time.
He's 29.
He's 29, but he's 9-3. When was his first fight? 2011.
Wow.
So he doesn't have a ton of fights, but he's also been fighting for fucking 7 years.
It's a lot in fighter years.
So
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Fabinski because he beat Urbina and he was a really good wrestler at Ohio State.
He out wrestled the shit out of Urbina too.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. Fabinski.
He fucking dominated that entire fight with wrestling against Urbina. So yeah, that I am too. But I would, if Mech was able to really change his game by working with Usman, then that would be huge for that dude. Because that's his big weakness is he's pretty easy to wrestle.
So next,
speaking of wrestlers,
we have a lightweight bout between German Nick Hein going up against Bosnian, because I'm not going to say Bosnian, Herzegovinian, whatever, Damir Hadžević, fellow Bosnian fighter with Mirsad Bektic. Those are the only two Bosnian fighters I know.
Sure.
Former Yugoslavia, whatever you want to call it. Nick Hein, the sergeant, German, 14-3-1 record, fighting out of Cologne, Germany. I've been there. Cologne's a fun city.
Yeah?
Yeah. A lot of
Oh, that's right.
I went there for a day festival.
Right, you were telling me about that.
It was like people dressed up like it was Halloween. It was the 11/11 Good Luck Festival.
Right. We talked about that on the
I
show.
remember at 11/11 in the morning when I was there, everyone basically did a toast. And at 11/11 at night, same thing. Everyone kind of went crazy.
It was funny.
Did a shot of Jaeger.
Oh, the fucking Jaeger.
So, Nick Hein, for all those people who say, why are you embellishing those words? It's because we love Bill Burr, so go fuck yourself.
Also, that dude, literally Doug Sano talks about all the time. It's like, I can't listen to Attell or Bill Burr, or else I start talking like Attell and Bill Burr. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
Yeah, just like Dixon, yeah. Or fucking Bill Burr when he's like, zip, record up.
Right. You fucking... with your quiz.
Or was it the Stipe looking like a state trooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, just shit like that just gets me every time.
Larry.
No. The old
right there,
Fred.
Fred.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Shut off the old hard drive.
Yeah.
God, I could keep watching that clip. That's fucking hilarious.
Fucking Bill Burr.
Anyways, shouts out to Bill Burr. He was at Comic-Con here in San Diego yesterday, moderating the Breaking Bad anniversary panel, as well as the Better Call Saul panel.
Yeah, I heard there were actually like everybody showed up for that thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to season 4 of Better Call Saul.
Yeah, shouts out to girlfriend Karen, who's been down at Comic-Con all today and will be down there again tomorrow working it.
Yeah, I gotta find a way to get back there without like buying someone else's ticket. Fuck that.
Yeah. She works it every year. She just does like the...
I gotta find a connection or someone that I could just get tickets from.
Yeah, there you go.
It'd be fun to walk the old halls again. Anyways, back to the fight. Nick Hein.
Plus, you get all that sweet Fortnite fucking loot that I'm sure they're giving out on fucking...
I give zero fucks about any of that bullshit.
You don't want a sweet Twitch jacket?
Now you just made me upset.
You don't want a Twitch jacket on Fortnite? Is that what you're saying?
God damn it, you just made me upset. Davi Ramos was Nick
You don't want a
Hein's
Comic-Con parachute on Fortnite?
show, right? Jesus Christ. I'd rather have a fucking Dragon Ball Super Saiyan Blue wig. Run around like an asshole.
Hey, they sell those there.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I guarantee it.
Shouts out to Angela Hill's photo on Instagram.
Yeah, great point. And shouts out to Vegeta in the picture as well.
Damir Hadžević, last fight he lost to Alan Patrick in a decision.
I'm cracking open one of these Unbecks.
And before that, he had a win via knee against Marcin Held.
Yep. Killed Marcin Held like at the end of the third after losing 2 rounds.
Nick Hein has a couple of UFC fights. Has a win over Drew Dober. Has a loss to James Vick. Has a win over, how the fuck do you say that guy's name? Lucas? Oh, Sajewski.
Yeah, Lucas Sajewski.
Or Sajewski, excuse me.
I think it's Sajewski.
Is he Polish?
Yeah, Sajewski.
It'd be Sajewski.
Oh, right, Sajewski. You're right. It's no fun to say it that way, though.
I know. And has a win over Yusuke Kasuya and Taehoon Bang. Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
This is interesting. Ooh, I see Hadžević has a loss to Myrbek Taisimov, who hits like a fucking truck.
Yeah, no shame.
Yeah, this is kind of tough. Yeah.
I agree. Nick Hein definitely has a resume, but how old is Nick Hein at this point?
34.
How old is Hadžević?
This guy, he's looking juicy in that pic, too.
He always looks real. He looks like one of
He's just a very vascular person. We'll put it in that.
Yeah.
Give him the benefit of the old doubt.
He definitely looks like a Jack Slack juicy boy.
Damir Hadžević is 31.
Okay, so they're closer in age than I thought. Nick Hine just seems like he's
Nick
been
Hine's
around for a lot
5'8".
longer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's small for this division.
Yeah, I don't know how to go with this. You know what? I'm going to go with Hadžević because he murdered Marcin Held with a knee.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I am too, mostly also because Nick Hine didn't look great in his last fight. Nick Hine, of course, German southpaw. Wonder why he's on the card. Super low volume in his last fight, and mostly just threw looping left hands, and then got taken down and just kind of fucked up.
So, yeah, as far as if you expect Nick Hine to win, it's going to be more like Nick 9 on this card.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Damir off to him just being bigger and having a better clinch game. And I think Damir will take a decision.
This next fight, I kind of already premeditated. I have a premeditated pick. I'll say right now.
Is it because his name's Sagat?
No.
It's because it's
that
last
guy.
minute.
I didn't know if Angela Hill might pick this guy, but not me. David Sawada, the German fighter who's 16-3, is going up against British, specifically English fighter Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts, who's 15-3. This is a lightweight bout. No, welterweight bout. God damn it, I keep getting those two. Wait. Oh, it's because fucking Hot Chocolate fought Perry and yeah. God damn it. Yeah. He's fighting in Dusseldorf, Germany. Zawada. Last time we saw him, this is UFC debut. Okay, he was at KSW though. The good Polish.
Actually, wait. Well, we'll do this fight, but it looks like actually.
Oh, I skipped one like an asshole.
Well, so the Tapology order is different than the Wikipedia order, which is probably right. But it's fine. We'll keep doing this one.
So this is the debut of the German fighter Zawada. Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts had a very, very impressive victory. Excuse me, if I could talk, over Swede Oliver Enkamp. Knocked him the fuck out. It was really bad.
Yep.
Like, really
rough.
bad. Like, he fucking spun
Face
180
planted him,
degrees and face planted the other way. So that's why I'm going with Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts. However, I wouldn't put it past the KSW veteran to surprise us, possibly, because KSW is pretty good.
Yeah, Zawada looks like he could be pretty solid. He's a Thai kickboxer. He has okay wrestling in BJJ. But Danny Roberts, he just steps in with big shots, and he has enough takedown defense that I think he's going to be able to land a big power counter shot and put him out, probably with a hook. As dude steps in, he'll just step in with him and land a big, solid hook and put him down. But I don't know. I'm going that way mostly because late notice replacement and a German dude in a late notice replacement, which means like dude has had some decent experience, but nothing on this level really. So
it looks like he went against Roberts in his pick when last time he fought Oliver Enkamp, according to your pick history.
Probably.
Yeah. Then again, I think a lot of people had Enkamp in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like a wrestler or some shit.
Well, I just thought Enkamp would be able to get the takedowns more instead of getting melted on the feet.
Like we said, we usually always go grappler over striker.
Yeah, I almost
so
always go.
Would you say I kind of got? You said Roberts.
Oh yeah, I got Roberts via probably KO early.
So the fight that we should talk about, and it's probably both of our.
It's my favorite fight on the card.
Yeah, it's probably mine too. We got Mini Kelvin.
I mean, aside from Tabora versus Struve.
Yeah, clearly.
That's not sarcastic at all.
We have another Englishman, Mark Bonecrusher Diakaze, going up against Nasrat Haqparast, a.k.a. Mini Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, 100%. Literally out of Kings, even. And technically works with Faraz, too, I believe.
Yeah, he fights out of Hamburg, Germany, so it's a hometown fight. Last time we saw Mark Diakaze, he lost he got submitted by Dan Hooker. Hooker's been on a fucking roll.
Well, Dan Hooker's a fucking beast. And Dan Hooker was able to draw out all of Mark Diakaze's giant wild kickboxing game with a lot of, like, just pressure and feints.
It's like, you know why? Because he trains with Adesanya.
Well, that's the
Fellow
thing.
Kiwi.
Is like looking back on this fight, you're like, oh Jesus, how did everyone not pick Hooker, considering he trains with Adesanya, and Adesanya can 100% play a giant Mark Diakese if you need him to. Like, that dude could easily replicate that. So, yeah, tough run for Mark Diakese, who looked like a fucking beast when he got into the UFC. Was just straight smashing dudes. But then, yeah, Drakkar Klose and Daniel Hooker losses back-to-back. He's taking on Nasrat Haqparast, who is, man, he's a tough style matchup for everybody. Just in the same way Kelvin is. Like, when you're that kind of dude who can put out a weird, awkward, feinting kind of, like, pressure boxing game and decent enough wrestling, that's exactly the kind of thing that I think will give Diakese trouble. The only thing I'm kind of unsure about is whether or not Diakese can win the clinch exchanges.
Yeah.
Because Nasrat did get put on his back against Held a decent amount. And Diakese is a fucking beast in the clinch with his, like, clinch takedowns and shit. He just muscles dudes to the ground. So if he can do that, I think Mark Diakese will do well. But I've got Haqparast in this.
Yeah, I have Haqparast as well.
I've got him probably by decision by just being able to feign out enough of Diakese's, like, giant counters or, like, giant kicks. And I expect Diakese to probably fade late. But if Diakese can at all work his takedown game or his clinch game, I think Haqparast is kind of fucked.
So next up we have your favorite fight of the night in Stefan Struve versus Marcin Tybura, which is probably...
Actually, I think this next fight is probably my
I'd
favorite
say,
fight of the night.
would you agree if I were to tell you Stefan Struve versus Tybura is title contention eliminator, possibly?
I mean,
heavyweight?
Dude, no different than the main event.
I mean, Brock Lesnar's getting a shot, and he hasn't fought.
Fucking...
We're kidding.
To be fair, they would both be more qualified than Brock Lesnar. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Stefan Struve, but I have a win over Stipe.
Yeah. Seriously. And fucking Marcin Tybura would be like, I don't know. I'm not fucking Brock Lesnar, so I should get a shot.
Yeah. I don't even know if I want to talk about this fight, to be honest.
I mean...
Can I just tell you who I think is going to win?
Who you got?
Marcin Tybura. I don't know why. I have no fucking knowledge.
Me too.
No, I'm not even going to say why. I got Tybura. Alright.
I got Tybura too, and it's mostly because...
It's mostly because fucking Stefan Struve is tall as fuck and doesn't utilize his goddamn legs.
Or his
fucking
length.
Kick people in the head.
Well,
jab them. Learn to jab.
Yeah, not even that. He just doesn't...
Fucking elbow people,
He
dude.
loves the clinch,
God
which
damn
is...
it.
And, like... I think Tybura wins
I
it.
felt like, clearly he's not as athletic as he well, not that people with that height usually can.
They never are.
But dude, like, imagine if he had the athleticism or near athleticism, say Shaquille O'Neal or something that tall, he'd be the fucking heavyweight champ. He would knock motherfuckers out.
Oh yeah,
doing,
dog.
like, spinning
I played
shit.
UFC too. I know how the chicken wings go.
But you know what I mean, though? I felt like he can just...
Oh, sorry, it was...
fuck you, you're dead, with, like, a front kick to the face.
It was UFC Undisputed 2010, I think, is actually UFC 2.
But
yeah.
you know what I mean, though? Struve would be, like, the shit if he can utilize...
If he worked a long jab, straight,
dude,
right,
the guy is
and
Dutch.
uppercut game...
You're Dutch. Use your kickboxing.
That's
God damn it.
Another good point. I think Marcin Hell's going to out-grapple him this entire fight. It's going to be very depressing.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, he's gonna fall like a skyscraper. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a big boom.
Also, I just realized we haven't been doing odds for this fight, so I'm not going to start now, but go ahead and take a look at the odds for this fight, because we're picking almost all underdogs based on some weird fucking odds making.
So,
or bookmaking.
Next up, we have a battle with the theme of Comic-Con here in San Diego.
God damn it.
We have two villains fighting.
Oh.
Just kidding. Villain in the name of Lex Luthor, Vitor Miranda, versus a actual villain And, hence this guy, Gladiator, is actually a villain in Marvel Comics too. So what a great coincidence.
Oh, so you're saying
So Abu Azatir.
Yeah, Abu Azatar is...
Azatir.
I think that's how you say it. Is a double villain, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And not just because he's called part of the Brutal Twins and is a giant trash person according to every instance, including the part where he beat a woman so bad it ruptured her eardrum.
Yeah. Someone give Derek Lewis a call,
Yeah.
please.
I would love to see this dude fight Derek Lewis.
And
What's
what
he
weight
weigh?
class is
170? Perfect.
This is middleweight.
Oh, wow. So he's moving up.
So can someone call Paulo Costa, the Eraser?
Yeah. I kind of want something more unfair, though.
No, yeah. Oh, Yoel at 205.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Yoel could be fucking Superman, basically.
Yeah, I'll let you all fight at 185 and just miss weight.
Yeah. That was a big advantage. Anyways, Lex Luthor, last time we saw him, he lost the unanimous decision to the Italian Dream, Marvin Vittori. He lost to another Italian, Chris Camozzi. No, American Italian. I'm just kidding. Chris Camozzi, UFC guy. You know him, and his brother Brian.
Yep.
So he's going off 2 losses to those guys. For that, he had a win via head kick and punches to Marcelo Guimaraes.
Sure.
I don't fucking know. And Clint Hester, who's a boxer via ground and pound. He's a UFC guy. He went to decision against Shoeface.
That was a young Shoeface, though.
Yeah.
He's also old as shit.
Yeah. Oh, he's 40 years old. So he's aptly Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Dude, why isn't he bald? I hope he's bald.
He's bald.
Thank you. You can't be called Lex Luthor, not be bald.
Yeah, well, that too.
Abu Woman Beater.
Yeah, known also for pouring gasoline on a man and stealing his Ferrari.
Yeah.
And for being an affiliate with a bunch of super sketchy people.
Including Robert Brighton. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'll stop. Sorry, Robert Brighton, if you really... I
I feel bad about constantly throwing Robert Brighton
I'm
under the
kidding.
bus just because Liam Delaziz is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Liam Delaziz is his manager, of course, and if you've ever seen Abu fight, it's because he was in World Series of Fighting or the Pizza Fun League, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it was definitely called WSOF back then when Ali was matchmaker for it and also getting his dudes easy wins. Totally
So
unlike nowadays in
as
PFL.
unbiased as I like to be, or try to be in my picks, I'm going to be very biased, but also I'm going to be very biased and pick the aging veteran in Lex Luthor.
Me too, because I can't. I'm Jim Cornette on the Laps Fan Podcast. I can't.
Yeah.
I need my booze and my pills. I can't.
Yeah. Oh boy.
There's some deep Laps Fan references for you. If you guys don't listen to Laps Fan Podcast.
So speaking of another Lex Luthor lookalike, we have Glow versus Sheriff.
Brazilian Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Going up against Beastin 25-8, Corey Anderson.
You mean overtime?
No, it's still, you can't escape something as bad as 25-8.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can try.
You quite literally can't escape it because it's more than the amount of time we have.
It's that you always have the extra day and hour and all that, yeah.
Yeah, why day and hour?
Yeah.
Why not 24-8? Or 25-7?
Yeah, 23-9. Fucking
yeah.
42-45. Yeah. So Glover, last time we saw him, he had a win via ground and pound over Misha Serkinov. For that, he got a video game knocked out by Gus Davidson.
He got UFC 2'd.
Yeah, that was bad. For that, he wrestle-fucked Jared Cannonier. For that, he almost got his head knocked off, literally, by Anthony Rumble Johnson.
In 13 seconds.
Yeah. It looked like his tooth
that
fell
shit
out,
happens.
even though I guess it didn't. Corey Anderson, did he get knocked out by OSP? No.
Yeah, but that was after or before his win over Patrick Cummins.
Which was a wrestling match.
Yep. And then he also had a loss to Jimmy Manilow before that.
Yeah, Sacktown Zone. For that... I know,
he's still pushing that, even though we realized he was like 10 when he moved there. 9.
I gotta do it. You already know, like, we're just gonna get a mystery email. Hey, it's me, Jimmy Manuel. You need to fucking stop.
If we apologize, Mr. Manoa, please don't come to Sacktown and then find us.
Yeah.
I'm pretending we're in Sacktown. Don't tell him.
Yeah, we train at Team Alpha Male, bro.
Don't train Team Alpha Male.
Well, I would just want him to confusingly go there, but hey, where's the sound of violence?
I like.
And then you'd see like
I would
Cody
go with
Garbrandt.
AKA, but okay.
Yeah, you'd see like Cody. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Jesus Christ. Let's move on. Go over to Shera. Has a win over Serkinov. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm probably gonna pick Teixeira. Just like jabby jab via the jab.
So I've been going back and forth on this, and I'm still not convinced either way. Like, I think Corey Anderson should win this fight.
Looks like he's pretty chinny.
I just don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going Teixeira via TKO. I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Anderson.
Alright.
Decision.
What are the odds on this fight?
Let me see. So, Anderson currently is a plus 135 underdog on 5 dimes to a minus 155 Glover Teixeira. Also, Stefan Struve is a plus 200, which doesn't surprise me. Abu is a minus 195, which kind of does. Danny Roberts, minus 320 to a plus 260 Zawada.
So we have the main event of the evening. I can't remember who the fuck Shogun was supposed to fight.
Also, Damian Stasiak is only a minus 120 favorite, which seems like it should be wider.
Yeah.
Who was the other one that was super wide that seemed fucked up? First off, Nick Hine is a minus 165 favorite. That seems wrong. And Emil Mech is a minus 155 favorite. Fucking Mark Diakase is a minus 170 favorite.
What about the Kimball fight? Our boy Donnie Darko is gonna win via fucking bowling pin to the head.
Kimball is a plus 220 underdog.
Okay.
So that's probably about right. But yeah, there's some weird fucking lines on this card.
So what about the main event? The former light heavyweight champion Mauricio Shogun Hua, aka I used to fight people at house parties.
Yeah,
when I was
I
a
love
kid.
that video.
Yeah, that's interesting. Going up against...
Also fought...
So who the fuck was he supposed to fight?
He also once fought Vanderlei Silva to see who gets to keep a puppy.
Oh, it was Uzdemir.
Right. Yeah, he's supposed to fight Volkan twice.
I remember I was saying originally Uzdemir's going to kill him.
Well, so Volkan was supposed to fight him on an earlier card because... but then that got delayed because of his hearing for the battery charge. The battery charge got dropped. He was scheduled for this card, and then he had an injury and had to
broke
drop
his nose.
Yeah. So then Anthony Smith.
Volkan was then supposed to fight Gus, and then Volkan broke his nose this week. Yeah, it's been a mess.
It's been a mess.
The heavyweight division is fucked. It's really bad.
Well, like always, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ever since Pride died.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Shogun's the more technically savvy and sound fighter still, even at the age of 36.
He's only 36.
That's what's interesting.
It's crazy. Dude's like, what, 20 and 10 or something like that? 26 and 10?
He debuted at age 20. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been fighting for 16
he's like
years.
Vitor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, holy shit. Anthony Smith is 29. Still young for that weight class.
Also, wait, hold on. Look at their records.
29 and 13 for Anthony Smith. And 20... Wow, that's a lot of fights for Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith has more fights than Shogun, which is fucking insane. But, to be fair, quality competition, nowhere near the
champion,
same. Yeah.
Shogun, who
fucking
beat Lyoto.
Shogun.
He beat Lyoto,
Oh,
right?
dude, he won the fucking Pride tournament of Pride tournaments.
That's
like,
right.
he was the fucking man
did
back
he win
in the
that
day.
205, the Pride... Fuck, what was that called? God damn it.
2005? The Grand Prix?
2005 Pride?
You guys keep scrolling because I mix them all up.
Pride 29. Yes, 2005 tournament. Wow, he won.
Yeah, he won the elimination tournament via
shit.
soccer kick against Rampage.
That's impressive.
Wait.
And he beat Alistair, and he beat Big Nog.
I think that... No, it was Final Conflict was the tournament, right?
I always forget, dude. Is Little Nog the 205 or Big Nog is the heavyweight, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So he beat Little Nog.
Which Lil Nog just got scheduled against somebody unfortunate for him.
Yeah, rest in peace, Little Nog.
I forget who it was.
So originally I was going to pick Uzdemir via death or Shogun. I'm sticking with that theme, unfortunately. I feel like Anthony Smith is going to catch him with something gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Shogun. The only way I see Shogun winning is being a smart outside fighter.
Yeah.
And just getting a decision.
If he can gas Smith,
late TKO.
He could get a late TKO if he can gas Smith.
I can see it,
but I just don't see
think
him
it will happen.
gassing
But
Smith.
yeah, I'm going.
Smith has looked really good. The only fight he really had trouble in was Thiago Santos when Thiago Santos just hit some
because Smith is
fucking murder
moving
combos
up, right,
on him
from 185. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he moved up. He won over Rashad or no, I guess that was at 185, the Rashad fight, right?
205.
Oh, I guess that was after Rashad
we were
went
like,
back
Rashad,
up.
why are you going back up?
Right. Yeah, I got Anthony Smith in this too. I wish I could pick Shogun like Conor Rebush, but I just can't do it.
Yep.
So, the card could be a lot of fun, but I'm not confident it will be a lot of fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is Sunday morning though, so we'll see how that goes.
I'll miss it.
I'm honestly
I'm gonna miss the whole fight.
I'm honestly more excited
That's
about...
not Fight Pass though, right?
I think it's a...
Oh, fuck, it's a fight.
I think it's a fight night. So it's well...
But it's in Germany, though. Usually they have the European cards on Fight Pass.
It might be. If you look it up on UFC.com, it'll show up.
I'll check it right now.
But, yeah, honestly, I'm more excited about the Invicta card, but I almost always am. Because I like the Invicta pacing so much more. And
fuck, it's on
generally,
FS1.
Yeah, I thought it was. So it's like, what is the start time for Fight Pass on Sunday?
7:30 a.m.
There it is.
Pacific time.
7:30 a.m. So I'm
10:30 Eastern.
Can't wait to wake up at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
9:30 Mountain Time. Yeah, you get it.
Well, that should be rough, but overall, it should be a fun weekend of fights. At least the Invicta card, I think, is going to really be a lot of fun tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. And then there's a couple fights on this card that should be a blast, especially that there's a couple on there that are just fun matchups. So, should be cool, man. Anything you want to plug this week?
Yeah, I'm actually working on, finally, it's not going to be like a fancy article. One of them's going to be more kind of like my experience at 226.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have some pictures I can add, or at least a couple. It's going to be more like blog style, I guess, just kind of on our website.
Right.
But I am going to do... I was thinking of doing an article, or just kind of like my quick thoughts on the whole interim bullshit. I was going to say it's WWE. Is the UFC turning into like a WWE freak show?
I mean, like it wasn't already.
Well,
but yes,
yeah.
More so though. 100%.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. We will definitely have that in the description for the podcast once that goes live. And other than that, you guys can follow us on Twitter. We are always, I've been trying to be more active on there. We did break the Doug Stanhope podcast news last week, which was fun. I had a blast at that. And we've just been having a lot of fun with a couple shows like Martial Arts Talk and or Martial Arts Chat rather, and some of those guys. So hit us up on Twitter, TSOV Pod. We always enjoy seeing you. Also, you can shoot us an email, chris@thesoundofviolence.com. We appreciate if you give everything a thumbs up on YouTube, or if you subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to us. We're always trying to... It helps us a lot in the algorithms, evidently, and we could always use some new eyeballs, or earballs, however you want to call it. So we will be back probably early next week for a recap, if we can figure that out.
Yeah.
And then if not, worst case, we will 100% be back next Friday for... What card is next week?
Oh, it's Poirier Alvarez.
Yes, that's right. Oh, Poirier Alvarez, and For anyone at the MMA community, our draft is next Saturday as well for the Mag War League. Starts at, I want to say, noon.
Oh, fuck.
But you can auto draft, so you can set up an auto draft list. You can set up an auto draft lineup.
I know, like, whatever.
Well, you should have been in the thread, bitch, where when I asked 45 times if anyone else wants a different draft date, and no one responded but Lofitz, saying he was fine with it. So, but Joel, keep an eye out for number one bullshit guy, totally auto drafting and getting Ronda Rousey on his team. Yeah. But keep an eye out for that, and yeah, we appreciate all the feedback and everything, and go buy some German beer this weekend. That's what I recommend.
It's some Viking stuff, though.
Yeah, is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, really good Hefeweizen.
Yeah. Or all the Duvals, like the...
That's a Belgian beer, but, I mean, that's a Belgian
No, it's not Duvel. Sorry. What's the fucking... The dark...
France O'Connor is a good Hefeweizen,
Yeah.
too.
There's a dark one from them, though, that I can't remember the name of. It's a Duvel. Not a Duvel, but a Duvel.
Yeah,
It's a double.
It's like a
but
double
it's not
Bach.
like a Belgian double. It's like
it's like a double Bach. Or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like a brown.
maybe that's what it is. Double Bach.
Fuck. Can't remember. It was
I think it's
France
on the
O'Connor
same-
does a Hefeweizen.
France O'Connor, I think, does that too, and then...
I'm trying to remember all the ones in the market.
Weissenhofer or...
Weinstoffner,
Yeah. One of those. Anyway, they're all fucking fantastic. I recommend the darker one with the brownish, reddish label that tastes like bananas and cloves. It's delicious. And we will be back next week. So until next time, everybody, go do some decking. We out. Hey.